3, 2, 1. Champ! What's up? How are you?
What's up, Joe?
How
are
feeling,
you,
man?
I'm good. I'm good. Life is good.
Life is good.
It's good. Stressful, but it's good.
Well, I mean, it has to be stressful. You're the king of the hill.
Yes. And it's a lot of things they don't tell you.
Dude, I remember
on the way up there.
Matt Hughes, when he lost to BJ Penn, I was interviewing him in the octagon. He said something like really honest and very shocking. He said, honestly, he goes, it's a relief. He goes, like, being the champ and the stress of it all, he goes, I feel relieved to have been lost. Like, first of all, to lose. It's very, like, the fact that he had the balls to say that, like, just admit it. Like, hey, it's a relief. Like, you know, he just choked me out, but I'm happy. I'm happy it happened.
It is. For guys like that have reached that status, it is. The Anderson Silva, the George St. Pierre, those guys, it is a relief because, you know, and I'm starting to see a little bit why. Because as soon as I walk out of there defending your title, as soon as you just beat this kid up, fans can't wait to say, oh no, this is the guy that's going to beat you.
Right.
That's the guy that's going to beat you. So there's really no come down, you know, let me take a vacation, let me do this. No, because fans are on it. They want a guy to step in there with you tomorrow to beat you.
That's always going to happen though, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, but
with everybody, anybody who's a champ.
Yeah, but that's now imagine doing that 5, 6, 7 times over and over, like these guys, George St. Pierre, for decades have done.
Yeah.
It just gets overwhelming because it's like nothing's ever good enough for you guys. You know, I can't go out there, put on a flawless performance, win, and just have you guys say, you know what, he's the best. No, it's like you were good, but yeah, this guy's gonna beat you. This guy's good enough to beat you. Well,
there's always going to be a certain percentage of people that are not happy with anything. I saw a lot of people that are tweeting, talking shit about Conor after he just won flawless victory, 40-second knockout of Donald Cerrone, and they were like, that doesn't prove shit. You know, he's going to fall apart if he fights anybody good. As soon as he gets in there with a wrestler, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's like some people are just negative. And
absolutely.
You can't fix them. You just got to accept them the way they are. Just like,
I know, and it's one of the advice that Rashad gave me early on is make friends with this. Make friends with because you get worked up before a fight, you know. So he's like, no, make friends with that feeling because that's a good feeling, you know. Or you backstage before your fight, you're super nervous, you want to take a shit, you know, you want to pee, you pee like 50 times. You're barely drinking water, but somehow there's some kind of pee coming out, and he's like, no, make friends with that feeling. You know, the moment you accept that feeling, it's not that big of a burden anymore.
Rashad's a wise man.
You know, a super wise man.
That's a very wise piece of advice because you can really change your perception based on how you approach something and just deciding this is all right. This is a part of the process. This is what's up. This is how it works.
It's big for me right now. It's very, very big for me because I'm a creature of a routine. I love having a routine. And it's a fine line between routine and obsessive compulsive. It's a very, very fine line.
Yeah.
And it started on for me early on. When I started to succeed in wrestling, I was like, okay, this is my routine. Okay, I'm looking at I'm 10 matches out. So that means I need to get up and I need to warm up. My warm up was the same. Okay, I'm gonna jog back and forth twice before I skip back and forth twice. Before I do my lunges back and forth twice. Before I do my stance in motion back and forth twice. Like it was that routine. I had to do it at that time. And I'm going to the restroom. I need to pee before I go for this match. But I'm gonna go into the same bathroom. I'm gonna go into the same stall. You know, I'm gonna pee and I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna use the same sink to wash my hands. Get 1 or 2 paper towels, throw it away, go back out. Like it got to a point where it's like that's my routine, and then I go out there and I perform and I win. I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm performing.
So it's like OCD.
It becomes there's a fine line. So I had to realize that that's a fine line because it's not necessarily OCD because when it becomes obsessive compulsive is when you feel like you can't succeed unless you do those things.
Right.
So it's like, dang, I forgot to do that. Well. Oh, I'm gonna lose. No, I had to learn how to control it early because it's like that's my routine. But even if I didn't do that, I didn't have enough time to do that because sometimes you don't have enough time to do it.
Right.
Something goes out of whack. Matches end early, and you don't have enough time to get your routine in. So it's like I had to be able to adjust my mind. Okay, we still go out there and perform. We still go out there, especially in the fight game. You know, you go out, there's 2 quick knockouts, boom, boom, boom. You thinking you've got 30 minutes to warm up and stuff. They're like, no, they're coming back. You got 10 minutes. It's like, oh, I got 10 minutes. I can't get my whole routine in.
How much time do you need? Like, say if you're in the locker room and you like before you walk out for the fight, how much time do you need to get everything loosened up? What do you like?
I mean, I'm older now. My joints make noises now, so not too crazy because I work out that morning before the fight. That's when I really get the hard workout in.
You have a hard workout the day of the fight.
Yeah, the day of the fight, I work out
Holy
in that
shit.
morning. All my coaches, my training partners, everybody, we go in and we get a good sweat. I like to blow it all out because the night before I don't, because that's the day of weigh-ins. Mm-hmm. So you just cut that Thursday night. You cut the weight, dehydrated. You weigh in that morning of that Friday morning. So that Friday is dedicated to just rehydrating and eating.
How much do you cut?
I don't get that. That last fight was probably one of the biggest. I stayed throughout, and I think I was up to about maybe 197. But when I start really full-fledged going 2 days in camp, I try to keep my weight around 192, 191, because that's where I feel strong, but not my fastest.
Because I've seen you walk around in between fights. I'm like, how the fuck does that guy make 170?
It's fake. It's just,
It's fake. What are you talking about?
They're air muscles. They're
bullshit.
I do a couple of,
no, bro,
I just have
man.
those.
There's no air in those muscles.
I've got a back, and I do a couple of, freaking curls, and my arms just swell up. Just swell up. But
197, if you're getting up to 197, you're cutting 27 pounds.
Yeah.
How much does that take out of you?
Well, like I said, I'm a creature of a routine, and I like to get into that routine. So I'm dieting well, eating well. So when I'm down to about 3%, I think it's probably some of the leanest I've been. About
3% body fat?
Yeah,
really?
When I'm down to
Is this from calipers or from a dunk?
from calipers.
They say that caliper thing's not totally
It's not,
accurate.
I mean, yeah, of course it's not going to be completely accurate.
Right.
But around that area, because I just have nothing. I'm just extremely lean. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I'm 180, I want to say 84. 85 pounds.
So you're just cutting 15 pounds of water.
Yeah, about I would say 12. Anywhere from 12 to is water. But I have an amazing team behind me. Amazing strength and conditioning coach, amazing, nutritionist. I work with Clint up at the PI now. And
is he the one who hooks up the weight cutting and all that?
Well, yeah, they help with it, because he lives in Vegas and I'm in South Florida. So me and Clint, we stay in contact, and one thing that I liked about Clint is the fact that he gave me the time to say, hey, let's really test your body, look at all this and that. You're the kind of athlete, you carry a lot of muscle, and there's that stigma that if you have a lot of muscle, you run out of gas really, really fast. But the way you work, we got to make sure that you're eating the right way to make sure you sustain that. And of course, my strength and conditioning coach, Dr. Corey Peacock, PhD and the associate professor over at Nova University, in exercise physiology. I mean, smart, brilliant guy. I've been working with him since my first fight in the UFC.
And you have particular needs because you've got problems with your knees, so you can't run.
Exactly.
Which
and that's
is
why
crazy.
I started working with him.
Oh.
It is before that I was working with Jake Bonacci, and Jake is amazing. Jake was at Extreme Couture for a long, long time, and Jake knew what he was doing. But Jake, the thing with Jake was a mastermind with if you're an athlete, you got all your body parts work. So this is what we need to do to get you tip-top shape. And then when Corey came in was after I had that injury, because I had a microfracture surgery. And then I had to fight the finale like 3.5 months after that.
So microfracture surgery is that shit they do to try to rebuild cartilage in your knee? Is that what it is?
Which was, yeah. Now some doctors are like, oh yeah, that's from the Stone Age. You don't do that anymore. Really? But it's when they go in, and I guess they create tiny little fracture.
Right.
And whether it's the for mine was in the knee, so either it's the femoral condyle or the I forget what the bone's called, but they try to tibia. They try to I guess let it bleed in and create the cartilage. And
did it work at all?
No, it didn't work. I think it actually set me back a big amount.
That's right. We talked about that the last time.
Yeah, but
have you ever done stem cells?
Yeah, I did. I took your advice. I went and did stem cells.
Did you do it in Panama?
No, I didn't go to Panama, but that doctor did it for me in Dallas.
Dr. Neil Reardon?
Yeah.
Yeah. They can do some crazy shit in Panama.
Yeah,
Panama doesn't have
Panama.
any,
That's what I need to do.
A lot of guys. I sent my mom down there twice.
Really?
Yeah, they told my mom she needed a knee replacement. And I was like, before we do this, let's just see what happens. And it took, my mom's in her 70s, so it took a while. But about 8 months in, the pain went away. And then I sent her down for a second time, and looks even more improved. What's really crazy is I saw her over Christmas and she looked younger.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure it has a lot of different effects, a lot of different ways that thing could help out. But in my case, the thing about it is I'm so active that it's very, very hard to sit back and just say, oh man, that worked, because I'm still kicking every day. I still feel that pain of kicking every day. I still feel that pain of bouncing on my knees, taking shots.
If you really wanted to heal up, you're going to have to take some time off.
But that's not time I can afford.
But what about just swimming? Like, could you do that for a couple months, just swim only for strength and conditioning and just do that?
I do swim. I don't really run a lot. That's the thing with Corey Peacock is when he came in was adjusting me to not being so hard on my knees, working away from that, because I haven't really done a back squat since maybe 2014.
Is that something that's particularly rough on your knees?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine carrying all that load and squatting. That was bad. And the Russian split squats and all that, all those were killing my knees. And those were the things that, we're taught to do for strength.
Right.
It's like, I need to be strong and explosive, so I need to squat, I need to do all these things. But Corey came in and really kind of helped mold the way that I work, and not necessarily killing all those. We still squat. We'll switch it up. We'll do the kettlebell front squats, or we'll do a bunch of different squats. But he really came in and helped kind of shape the way that I went about it. So my and that's the thing that I always do year round is I try not to slip on my strength and conditioning, because I know I have a lot of muscles, and at the same time I got to keep.
But that's also part of your style, right? Your style is you push a pace.
Yeah, I got to push that pace, and a lot of guys are strong right away, like the one that hit you and it's like, oh man, that guy's strong. But what about the guy that hits you and then keeps going? Because a lot of guys can't maintain that and sustain that. And that's where I like to think I have an edge over everybody.
And so this strength and conditioning coach that you've been working with from the beginning, like, give us what is a regular routine for you? Like, what kind of shit does he have you do?
Dr. Peak. Okay, so we just we started getting back in there literally last week.
So you took a little time off. How's your hand? Your left hand?
That's the thing. I went, and I know the doctor's gonna hate me for this. So I had a cast on. So then I go to Vegas, and I talk to the doctors, the UFC doc and those guys in Vegas, and it's not broken. It's just an issue with the ligament. As you can see in this right hand, right here at the bottom of the thumb, you can clearly see the ligaments, all working there. But then here, there's that bump in between, so they don't come out as much, and that's causing me. I don't have the strength, like, being able to pull. And this is a big part of my game, is if I get around you, I get a body lock. I don't care what you're doing, you're just not getting me off. Like,
right.
I've spent years just working on that grip to where you just not. You're not letting me off until I let off.
Right.
And so now I'm not being able to do that, but it's healing fast. And I was in Vegas, and the doctor's like, we can just cut the cast off and make you a hard removable one that I can take off on and off, so I can shower. Because that was the thing. You're stuck in this cast for 4 weeks. You can't really shower with it. You got to shower with your arm up in the air.
Oh, and your hand stinks so bad when it gets out.
And then when it itches, and I got to stick stuff in there.
Yeah.
And psychologically, I started getting a little anxiety with it too, because it's like, I can't get this thing off my hand. I need this thing off. So sometimes I'm laying there, I'm just like, I want it off my hand and I can't get it off.
So is it a ligament tear? Is that what it is?
It's not a tear. They thought it was a tear at the bottom, but strength is coming back.
So it's slowly. Maybe a sprain or something?
Yeah, it was like a really bad strain, and that bump is still there for some reason. So we're working on it. I'm doing everything, ultrasound,
but no fracture,
light, and no fracture, which is good news. So I don't have to be out for too long.
Yeah, because you sent me the tape of like when you hurt it in training.
Yeah,
you can see it. Like, so it was one of those things where you hit with the thumb.
I hit it with the thumb because when you got those big gloves on, you can't really make a full fist,
right?
So especially when you have wraps, so your hand's kind of in there like this. So you throw a punch the wrong way, or somebody comes into you the wrong way, it's like, boom, you heard it.
Yeah.
So I heard it at one. I'm like, oh, what am I going to do now? So now everything's going through my head. I got this guy that's been talking shit for years, and everybody in the world is telling me, you have to kill this guy. You can't lose to him. So now I'm going through all this in my mind. Oh, I can't be that guy. I can't lose to that guy. I can't lose to that guy. And then it's like, then I'm like, okay, no, it feels a little better. I'm going to spar hard. So I start sparring, boom, right away, heard it again. And I a couple of times I almost cry.
And you're getting it taped up hard too.
I'm getting it taped up and everything, but it's still hurting. But then it gets to a point where I'm just like, shit, got to block it out. Fight's a fight, I got to block it out. So I'm in the dressing room and training, everything's okay. I block it out. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm thinking about going to work. And then I get in there in the first round. I don't even remember. I just remember throwing it. Boom, something's wrong. Oh. And then I'm just like, okay, play it off. And then props to Colby. Like, he comes on and he's, he's doing his job. He's fighting me. He's in there landing strikes. And I'm like, okay, but at some point I never thought I'm going to lose this fight. Because I never think like that. It's like, oh, I'm not going to lose this fight. Even if something's not going my way, I'm going to adapt.
Wasn't it like on the scorecards at the end of the fight were very close?
Yeah. I knew it was close.
Yeah.
I would, because for the first time ever, I asked my coaches, did I win that round? I've never in my career done that. I'm the type of guy, even when I was wrestling, I'm the type of wrestler who I like to run up the scoreboard. I don't like to leave any doubt that I won that round. I'm going to dominate that round. I'm going to make sure I won. So in my head, I know I won. I don't need to ask. For the first time in my career, I went back. I'm like, did I win that round? Did I win that round? But even by me asking that, I never thought, oh, I'm not going to finish this fight. I always knew I was going to finish the fight. But I just was like, did I win that? Did I win that? I don't know why, I don't know how or what was going on in my head, but for some reason I was asking. So I knew the fight was close.
It was a good fucking fight, man. It was a good fight. The thing about Colby is he tricks you into thinking he sucks because he's got a goofy suit on and he talks crazy and, he wears the MAGA hat and all that stuff. But then if you didn't see any of that, if you just watched him fight, you're like, that motherfucker puts a pace on people.
Yeah, a lot
What
of
he did to
people
Robbie Lawler, I was like, good Lord. Like, nobody does that to Robbie Lawler. Like, he put a fucking pace on him. He just stayed on him. Like, guys have wrestled him before, Robbie. Like, got a hold of him, dragged him down, tried to make it try to stall him out. That's not what Colby did. Colby just stuck on him like glue and just put that pace on him.
Yeah, I mean, he really showed, like how good he is. And I mean, I give respect to respect due. I'm no hater. I know this kid can fight. I know he was good. I knew he was tough, and I knew he was a competitor as well. He's always been a competitor. I knew guys that were on wrestling teams with this guy. Besides John Jones, I knew other guys, that I'm good friends with that wrestled with him. So I've always known that he was a competitor, that he was going to come out and try to compete. But like I said, I just mentally, I think I'm just on a different level than these guys just because everything that I've been through, that I've done in my life has shaped me into the man that I am. So mentally, I'm just on a different level than him.
Well, you have to have that attitude, right?
Yeah, and I felt it. I knew it and I felt it. And now so more so than ever because now you've got all the fans, but on what he's got his fans. Everyone has fans that are going to talk shit to you.
Well, there was the first time that you had a close fight in the UFC, which is kind of crazy. I mean, think about your career. It's pretty fucking nuts. I mean, you win the title over one of the best welterweights of all time, Tyron Woodley, and you just dominate him, right? You think about all the other guys, Dos Anjos, all those guys you smashed. And you had a crazy run up to the title and then a crazy title winning effort. And then this was the first time we saw you in like a very close fight.
Yeah, I mean, and attest to him too. Like, he's a tough guy.
He's tough as fuck.
At the end of the day, to make fantastic fights, you got to have the right dance partner.
Yes.
And
Frazier needed Ali. Yes. They need each other.
And he was the right dance partner. And to be honest with you, if I didn't take too much out of him, because each fight takes something from you, internally. So if I didn't take too much from him, I think I might see him again, to be honest, because like it's clear that we are the two best guys in the division. And so Yeah, I mean, I look forward to seeing him again.
I think you guys will see each other again. I do. I'm really interested to see what happens with Tyron and Leon Edwards. You know, they're fighting next. That's a big fight, a very hard fight for both guys.
It is. It's a hard fight for both guys, but stylistically it matches up well for both guys because Tyron has a lot of successes with southpaw guys.
That right hand he's got.
He's got that cannon in his right hand, and Tyron is very, very good when guys don't completely dominate and control what's going on. And Leon Edwards has done better at that with guys that he feels like he can keep up with. But with a guy like Tyron Woodley that can wrestle like Tyron Woodley, that's got power like him, I wonder how he's going to do.
Well, I feel like Leon gets the least amount of attention when it comes to like top flight world-class fighters. He's a top flight world class fighter, but he gets the least amount of attention out of those guys for whatever weird reason.
Yeah, it's the era that we live in now. I mean, this is the first fight. Like, if you really think about it, this is the first fight you're actually starting to hear his voice. Like,
right.
Like it's like who is Leon?
Right.
Scott or Edward, whatever his name.
Well, the biggest thing with him was when he had a fist fight with Masvidal. Like when they had that scrap.
It wasn't a fist fight. Like
Masvidal just cracked him.
With whatever that guy, whatever his name is. You know, I mean, he openly said it. You have one of the best sucker punches in the game and the best 40-yard dash. So you go in there, you sucker punch somebody backstage, and you run out of there, and they rush you out of London before it. Them Brits can get a hold of you before the London boys came back. You know, so I mean, that's kind of, unfortunately for Leon, that's kind of what put his name out there.
It's kind of crazy too, because when you're in a foreign country and you commit assault, usually they lock you the fuck up.
They got him out of there.
They got him out of there quick.
They got him out of there.
But it's weird, like no charges, no nothing.
They got him out of there.
But isn't that kind of, because there's video. Yes. It's not like we don't know what happened.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is he gets praised for that.
Yes.
It made him famous. He gets praised for that. Now imagine I do that over there in London.
Or imagine anybody else doing
that in London. It's
how did he do it? It's weird. Like, how did Masvidal get away with it? It is weird.
Well, with the forces that be, UFC is they're very good at what they do. And let's just say they got him out of there quick.
Let's just say. Yeah, he's been talking crazy shit. That might be your next fight. What do you think? Do you think that's going to be your next fight?
I hope so. Because of the way that things, I'm the type of guy to where anything you say can and will be used against you inside that octagon.
Oh, you're a court of law.
Exactly. I'm the judge, the juror, and the executioner in there, and that's how I approach it. You know, because some guys, you just sign the contract to go fight the guys.
Right.
But I get obsessed with the fact that I want them to say something. I'm waiting for them to say something. It's a little tougher than the guys that don't really have to say anything, don't have anything negative to say. It's a little tougher to go in there and, you know,
and get angry
to fight them. And I want them to say something. They do an interview that pops up, my Google alerts on. You know, someone from my team would tell me, boom, someone did this interview about this, check it out. If I have time, I'll watch it. Oh, he said that. Okay. You know, and this guy, it's, you know what? It's funny to see the way it's shifted, like his career has shifted. This is a guy that's been known it for a long, long time. A long time.
Yeah. And
he was a run-of-the-mill guy. He would win some, lose some, win some, lose some. I mean, you know, not that long ago, he was losing. You know, and a credit to his team as well. You know, they've done a good job at picking the right fights to really get him to where he is now.
But do you know what actually happened? You know, his story, he went on a South American game show.
Well, yeah, he was 300 pounds before he went and did that.
Was he?
Like,
he was really fat?
Bruh, look at pictures.
Really? But wasn't this like post Wonder Boy? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it somewhere around then?
Yeah, somewhere around there. I think it's post Wonder Boy right after. But he got fat.
Really?
Bad, fat. When I fought Wonder Boy. No, when I fought Damian Maia. I think that was like the tail end of the huskiness on his part. But it was. At some point, like, listen, like, everyone's buying into the hype. This is what I'm saying. That they've done a good job at creating this hype by picking the fights to where one fight was a gamble. The Ben Askren fight was a gamble. You know, you win that fight, you take all that hype that this guy has, which this guy didn't belong in there in the first place. But previously in his career, early on in his career, you could make the argument that yes. But at that point in his career, he didn't belong in there. But he goes out there. Let's say Ben Askren does take him down and does what Ben Askren does. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So he goes, and that's a gamble on their part, and the gamble paid off. He went in and he took all that hype from Ben. Then who's the next guy? The guy that, another guy that wins some, lose some, but has a ton of hype because he just fought Conor. Goes in there and fights Nate. Now, that fight turns out the way it did. You get all this hype. Now you got all these people thinking, oh my God, this guy's a killer. Where has he been? This and that. It's the same guy that was 300 pounds not too long ago.
He was not 300 pounds.
Look at it. He was damn near close.
I don't think he was ever
above
north of 200.
220. Oh,
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I never saw him fat.
Yeah, you should look at pictures. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. But, hats off to him. He got the weight off, and, he went over and did his thing. And I'm no hater. I give credit where credit is due. Yeah, but don't. He was always that guy that said, you know what, I'm not this cliche. I'm not playing this character. I'm not doing this. I'm just a real fighter in this. But then you're showing up at fucking press conferences looking like the knockoff of Scarface.
Yeah, but don't you think that that's wise? No,
it is wise.
It's very smart.
It is
right?
wise. It is.
Yeah.
But say it like it is. Don't sit here and say, oh, these guys are being a gimmick. These guys are doing this. These guys are doing that. You're doing the same damn thing. And then look at what he did that last fight. Oh, my God. He took the biggest L of that night. Like, that was corny. You want to wear the robe. You want to stand there. You say he was holding that silver belt. Like, they actually think this is a real belt.
The BMF belt. What did you think about that BMF belt? Was that strange?
The mediocre fighter belt.
They didn't need a BMF belt for this last fight with Conor and Cowboy. They just needed a good matchup.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So why does the BMF belt, is that a one-time thing?
It was something they created to kind of hype that fight. They needed. Did they
really need a belt though? Did they need a belt?
No, they didn't. But if they get loud enough and Dana hears them and Dana sees that, Dana is a very smart man, greatest promoter we've ever seen. And to jump on that, like, you know what, shit, like, let's make him
a bad motherfucker belt.
Let's make a nice little silver belt, this little
is
replica.
It silver?
It's like
instead of gold?
Yeah, it's like a
silver, different color?
Purplish color.
Pull a picture of it. I want to see that thing again. It's a beautiful belt.
What?
It's a beautiful belt.
The UFC belt is beautiful.
Well, that's more beautiful. That's more. It's like saying, like, you look at a new Corvette, you go, oh, that's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
And then you look at a Ferrari, you go, oh, that's a better looking car.
Oh, yeah.
That's better looking.
Or a Bentley's.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I want that.
It's another level.
But but this one's like the Bentley and then the Honda Civic. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest.
It is silver.
Look at that.
Is that
thing.
silver? Or is that like
it's like copper? No, that's not copper. It's like sterling silver.
It seems kind of goldish in some. It seems like the lighting.
Nah, it's sterling silver. It's like
I kind of think it's gold.
No, it's not.
Is it gold?
No, it's not gold. It's not gold.
Bronze.
Yeah, it's like is it bronze?
Is it?
It's not even silver. It's not even second place. It's bronze, huh? This is like, honestly, this is like a participation medal. You know how when you do the field day in school and they give you the participation medals? They're like, here you go, kid. You did a great job. And that's what this is.
Well, if you beat him, do you get that belt too?
I want that shit. I want it. Because
what would you do with it if you had it? Would you wear both of them?
No.
What would you do with it? Just put it aside?
Put it in my closet. I would just put it in my closet. I would just put it in my closet. But it's like, what that means nothing. It was just something to hype a fight. But his team has ran with it like, yeah, we're the
smart
BMF
move. Listen,
champion.
man,
Yeah, and they're really calling this.
When they called it, when they showed the video of him, when they went to the camera turned to him during the last pay-per-view, the fucking pop was gigantic. Everybody went crazy when they saw him.
Yeah.
The hype is real.
Yeah, the hype is real.
It's alive.
It's
alive and kicking.
Man, people
love
hype.
him.
Big
people
hype.
love him.
But that's the thing is, people love you until they really see what you are. Darren Till had a lot of hype, and shout out to Darren Till. I mean, he's still growing in the sport, but he had a lot of hype to where people were saying, "Oh man, this guy's gonna beat Woodley."
Right.
Like even at some point, I was like, "Yo, he might get Woodley."
Really?
I was like, yeah, he might get Woodley, and you could
thought
see
it
in
was
that fight
severely disrespectful
that
they were making him the favorite in that fight. I'm like, you guys are crazy. You're crazy. I mean, this guy's already fought one of the best strikers twice in Wonderboy and beat him both times. Not just that, he was the only one that hurt him.
Yeah.
Like, he hurt Wonderboy bad in both of those fights. Wonderboy never hurt him. So you got the guy who's arguably one of the best strikers to ever do it in the welterweight division. I mean, Wonderboy's a fantastic kickboxer.
Oh, yeah.
Tyron smashed him.
You saw what Wonderboy did to Masvidal.
Yeah. He outpointed him. Yeah. Good fight.
I mean, he dropped him like several times.
Did he drop him?
Yeah, a couple times.
Well, Darren dropped him too. Darren Till dropped Masvidal too, but Masvidal starched him.
Yeah, and you know, I give credit where credit is due. You know, but like I'm saying, back to that, like everyone. I was almost like, and you saw what like that's. I'm sure Willie was a little afraid in that fight because it's like.
Do you think so? I don't think so.
Yeah, you have to be.
I think
with all the hype they were putting behind him, you have to be because at some point, as a champ, and that's what makes you sane as a champion is that little fear. It's like, wow, they're really saying, is this kid really good enough? He's the favorite. Is he good enough?
I thought that was so crazy. Sometimes there's odds, and I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense at all to me.
I agree.
You know, there's certain odds where I'm like, you guys are like, who's making these odds?
Yeah, I'm beats me, especially these rankings too. I'm like, they've got this kid at number 3. He hasn't fought number 4. He hasn't fought number 1, number 2. He hasn't fought number 5. He hasn't fought number 6. And like, how in the hell is he in number 3?
Masvidal's number 3.
Number 3.
They have it? Well, who makes the rankings? The rankings are weird.
I don't
weird.
know who makes the rankings.
Because sometimes a guy will beat a guy, and then he'll be below that guy in the rankings.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Wonderboy put on a clinic versus him. Wonderboy, I think is he even top 10? I don't think Wonderboy is it. I think he might be like 9 or something like that, which I think is insane.
Well, the Vicente Luque fight, which was his last fight, that was that I think he was like ranked. I want to say 11 or something.
Yeah, that's
Vicente Luque
crazy.
was.
Yeah, Vicente is tough guy,
maybe too tough.
Tough fighter.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are gonna have their hands full with Vicente.
Oh, he's an animal.
You know, an animal. There's a couple of guys in division right now, and I see these guys. You know, Jeff Neal is another guy.
Oh, he's the one. Man.
I see these guys.
That's the dark horse.
And I'm not taking my eyes off none of these guys. I see all these guys, which is why I can't afford to take 5 months off to let my knee feel this some type of way. Like I
Jeff Neal's the most promising to me. I watched that guy move, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's talented.
Yeah, he
was waiting tables just like a year ago.
Man, that's a struggle.
Yeah, his last fight against Mike Perry, I believe that was his first camp where he didn't have a job. I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry if I'm incorrect.
And big
I think
respect,
that's what John Anik said.
And big respect to that.
He's fucking talented.
Big respect to that because, you know, a lot of guys are afraid to even do that. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you get some of the guys that they get in the UFC like, oh, my problems are solved. I'm good now, but they're still struggling. Mm-hmm. Even when you first get in, you're still making less than minimum wage. When you boil it down, you're making less than minimum wage.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. But it's also like you got to have good food, right? You got to be able to afford massage. You got to be able to afford some things.
That costs money.
If you're in a hardcore training camp, and maybe it is better to have like a little bit of a job. And I think Jeff was waiting tables.
Yeah.
To me, it's crazy. Like, it just seems like, where's the money going? Like, how much money is a cage fight worth? It should be worth a lot. Like, if you're fighting on TV, like,
it should be worth a whole lot.
That should be all you need to do.
Yeah. Now, let me see. My first fight in the UFC, let's say I made 10-10.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy to me.
So, boom, I go and win the fight, $20,000. Boom. I'm like, oh, I got 20 grand. All right, now, first and foremost, 20% comes off. Manager and gym, boom, off the top.
Then taxes.
Gone. Taxes. You know, boom, off the top.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, my daughter just turned 1. Her birthday party is gonna totally cost $2,500.
Oh.
Because it's 1, you gotta do it big.
Yeah.
Boom, off the top, gone. My car, you know, they've been letting me, you know, kind of pile up that car payment for a while now. So I need to pay that and the insurance, everything that's backed up. So that's like $3,200. Boom, off the
Money's
top.
all gone. Everything's gone.
Within 2 weeks, I sat at home, still living with Rashad. Like, I got $3,200 left. I fought like 2.5 weeks ago. What?
That's crazy.
What just happened?
And it's got to last you.
And it's
because that's your source of income.
That's it.
Yeah.
thank God I got the performance bonus in that fight.
How much is the performance bonus?
That was 50.
They used to give locker room bonuses, right? Is that a thing of the past? They used to come in and cut checks.
But I think it depends on if you're the right guy and you go out there and do something special a certain night. I mean, I think Dana is still generous enough, depending on his mood, how he's feeling. He's still generous enough to maybe say, you know what, take care of you. Because you see now, he'll just send a couple of guys extra. He's like, man, these guys did great, and I'm gonna send them bonuses too. So he'll just bonus these guys. So,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough money. It's not enough money for fighting. I mean, it's interesting because a boxing match, some people would say, well, that's what boxers get. I don't think boxing is as rough on you. If you're doing a 6-round boxing match and you're only making a couple $1,000s, like, I kind of get you're moving up the ladder, and that's just how it goes. But the camps that you guys go through when it comes to wrestling, when it comes to submissions, when it comes to kickboxing, there's so much more potential for damage on your body. Absolutely. It's just so much harder. It's getting your legs kicked and just takedowns, just those two factors. Like, there's so much more beating on your back. Boxers are obviously tough as shit, and they obviously have a very difficult job. It's not no one's saying boxing is easy, but comparatively physically on your body, like a 6-round pro boxing match when you're in the preliminaries, as opposed to a UFC fight. A 3-round UFC fight can be fucking chaos.
Oh yeah.
And if you're only making $10,000,
it's imagine losing the fight.
Then you only get 10.
You only get 10.
Yeah.
Then you go home. Now take all the stuff that I just mentioned. You're in the hole.
Yeah. Well, now imagine you're fighting not even for the UFC. You're fighting for Bellator, right?
Yeah.
You're making even less than that.
Less than that. And I have friends that fight for Bellator. I have friends that fight for other promotions. And my little brother's fighting too. And so he's making his way up too. And the one thing about him is I have to keep him somewhat grounded because he was a big time football player, and potential should be still feels like he should be in the NFL. But the thing about that is keeping his mind in where it should be, that, hey, this is why it's going to feel good when you start making $1 million paychecks. It's okay to make 1 and 1 now. It's okay to make 2,000 and 2,000 now.
How long has he been fighting now?
They're fighting, I want to say a year and a half.
How long has he been training?
A year and a half.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So he's just getting into it.
Yeah, just getting into it.
That's got to be crazy. Your brother's a fucking champion of the world, and you're just kind of getting your wheels greased up and getting on the road.
And I try to, honestly, I try to make it not weird for him because it's, we're a family to where we're very, very close family. But imagine boys, like, we're all competitive boys. Like, if your brother's doing this good and like, you want to do it better. Yeah. And I'm imagining how it is for him, to have a brother that's the champion, to where now you're in the sport that your brother was a champion in. Yeah. Like, how is that? And I don't ever want to make it weird for him. I want to make it as easy as possible for him because I want him to be, man. I want him to be bigger than, because he's a heavyweight. Now, once he gets
How big is he?
I think he's like 6'2", 255, 260.
Jesus.
He's a freak.
Jesus.
My brother's Diesel, big dude. And if it's when he gets that striking down and really starts sitting on punches, because he wrestled in high school too. He was a high school state runner-up. When he starts sitting on punches and really putting this, he just got his first standing knockout, his last fight. So when he starts putting these guys to sleep, I think he's going to be a humongous star in the sport.
And how old is he?
He is 30.
That's a weird time to start, though, isn't it?
He is, but he's so freaking athletic. It's oh my God.
Well, look at Greg Hardy, right?
Look, if you guys go online, go to his Instagram at @Muhammad97. Like, look at some of him and his strength coach are the most outrageous, funniest, like, guys that you will see online. I mean, it's the fact that he's still a little under the radar. Now let him get in the UFC and get to where I'm at. Those videos,
you just put him on the radar right now.
Every video would be over millions of views because they do the most outrageous things. But it works for him.
There?
That's him right
Dude.
there. But it works.
Jacked.
It works for him.
Oh my God!
Now you watch him training.
Let me see some of this.
This is him learning counter. See,
he's a big fella.
Oh, huge.
It's crazy that he's only been doing it a year and a half.
Oh only been doing it a year and a half.
So what made him decide to put football aside and start fighting?
It was just he was caught in that transition of trying to get into the NFL, trying to get back in, and as a free agent. And because the NFL, man, you got thousands of guys that come out for the same position every year. And there, of course, the NFL wants a newer, fresher, younger guy that they can get for cheaper.
Right.
And so the longer you're out, it makes it so much harder to get back in.
I gotta also imagine when you're getting close to 30.
Yeah.
Like these kids are 22, 21, full of piss and vinegar.
He still thinks he's 20. So
Really?
My brother still acts like he still got the energy of a 21-year-old. I mean, he's the whole definition in my mind of what it is to have a lituation. You know, he's always lit. Always.
Lituation.
He's always lit.
Did he come to you and say, "Hey, Kamaru, I'm thinking about fighting"? Did you guys have a conversation?
No, that's the weirdest thing about it is see, I know my brother so well to where at some point he's very prideful too. You know, at some point he didn't want to. He's not gonna say. I've kind of like roundabout. I can tell when he's getting into it because I brought him in. He went my first ever fight. You know, I brought him to Nebraska with me, and so he goes to all my fights, and I could tell that he was flirting with it.
Really?
Because he kind of started training a little bit, and I heard him tell a coach like, yeah, I think I'm gonna just start fighting. And I tried to have that conversation, but it's kind of weird with him. It's kind of a weird dynamic, but I love him to death. And but then when I found out that he was kind of really serious about it, I'm like, okay, let's lay the plan out for you because I want you to get there faster than I did. I want you to get there, have an easier time than I did to get to the top. So he's working his way out. He's got great coaches that he's working with right now.
Where's he training out of?
He's training out of Dallas. He goes out and trains at Saif, where Jeff Neal and those guys trains as well. He's got striking coaches, Stephen Wright down there who worked with Johnny Hendricks.
Oh, okay.
And so he's learning. He's learning fast, and of course his strength coach out there. And
do you train with him at all?
Not a lot. We haven't really trained a lot together because I'm in Florida and I'm traveling so much to where. But I'm in the process to where I'm gonna start getting him to Florida more and more now because now he's learning more. Now he knows the ground a little bit. Now he's striking is starting to pick up. Because the worst thing I want to do is bring him into a camp full of killers like in our gym and have them discourage him.
Right.
And I would hate to do that.
Yeah.
Because he's so talented, he's so athletic. I don't want to stun that so early. But now it's getting to the point where now I can bring him in for months at a time to where to see where he's at because he's ready. Well, he thinks he can fly tomorrow. But I want him to walk first.
That's such an important factor of not discouraging a guy, but also testing him. Like it's a fine line, right?
Yes, very, very fine line because you have to be tested. Because if you're never really tested, the worst place that you want to get tested is inside that cage. I'm a firm believer that there's nothing worse than being locked in the cage, getting the shit beat out of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. So I would hate for that to happen to him. Yeah. And like it happened to me in practice before I got there. I don't forget the moment at all. And so I don't want that to happen to him inside that cage.
Yeah, it's got to be strange seeing your brother just getting the ball rolling and just getting into it.
It's a good feeling, though. It's a really good feeling seeing him kind of pick it up.
How many fights has he had now?
I think he's 6-1 now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 5-1 or 6-1 now. And so it's
so he's got off to a quick start. Yeah, he's having quite a few fights.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, you don't want to, rake in all this fight and be 10-0. You really haven't fought into one. You really haven't been tested, and then you get there and then you get beat up. You're like, oh man, now you're second guessing yourself.
Yeah, that's the difference. And we were talking about this the other day. The difference between the boxing way of raising a fighter versus the UFC. Really, you don't get a chance to pick your fights in the UFC. Like in a boxer's career, the manager would say, okay, let's try you with a guy who's longer, who's got a good jab. Okay, we did that. Let's try you with a guy who likes to stay glued to your chest. Let's test him with this. Let's get him in there with a journeyman who's a little slippery, who's got some good experience, and let's give you some seasoning. The UFC is like, do you want this fight?
Yeah.
And like, hey, you want to fight John Jones on 18 days notice? Like, what?
Yeah, and see, boxing's been around so long. There's so many boxers that you can pick from. because that's everyone does that.
Yeah.
You know, there's these long guys that are journeymen that have a lot of losses. Some guys that are kind of 500. You can kind of just pick the guys, and then you have the promising guy that you're trying to build, and you can just kind of pick guys around him. But MMA is not really like that yet because it's still so new. Everybody's trying to be a champion.
Yeah.
So it makes it difficult to be able to pick guys. And on top of it, then you get to the UFC where it's like, this is a fight. Yes or no, which I have gotten a call. Hey, you're going to go to Brazil and you're going to fight this guy. If you say no, all right, we're going to extend your contract. If you say yes, all right, can see you there.
Yeah, it's weird, right? You can't negotiate like you can with a normal promoter.
No.
It's very...
No.
So we were talking about your strength and conditioning because of your knees, and we kind of got sidetracked. Like, what kind of stuff does he have you doing to replace running? And
to replace run, like I work in the pool a lot on myself. I run a lot in the pool, and you know I swim too. I'm not the best swimmer in the world, but you know I get in there and I get after it and I get tired.
You know those things that GSP uses where he has like these things
I see them. I see
puts
them
on his hands and on his feet. No, you like.
I play with those. Yeah.
What are those things? What are those things called?
They're kind of they create the resistance in the water. You know, so it's kind of gives you the resistance, pulling, pushing, and you know, throwing punches with them. It just gives you that extra work that you need.
George loves that shit.
You know,
he loves it. It's like his main training, like
and
strength and conditioning.
You
want that fight? If I could give you a magic wand, if I could give you a magic wand, say, Kamaru, you can pick. Bing. Who you pointing that magic wand at?
GSP all day.
GSP
all day.
Just for the legend status.
Yeah, because George he went out the way you're supposed to go out, and he can still do it. Like he proved it 2 years ago. He came back and not just do it, go up a weight class and get it done. He can still do it. He's training. He's one of those guys that's not just going to stop training.
Yeah.
He's been training. He's still training. And I know he can compete still.
Faraz says he's still the best fucking guy he's ever seen. He's like, the guy's still the fucking man right now in the gym, training hard. Like nobody could touch him.
Yeah, and I like to test that. You know, with a big respect to George. This is no disrespect by any means, but there's a reason guys like myself and Khabib want to fight him. It's because we want to test ourselves. This is not a matter of disrespect and I want to beat this guy's ass. No, it's George was the best. He did everything the right way, and got to the top and walked away, and he can still do it. So we want to test ourselves against a guy like that because we pride ourselves on being the best. We've worked tirelessly to get to this point to where it's not necessarily for hype. It's not for the money. Like all that is good. Yes. You know, that's great. But we want to test ourselves against the best to ever do it. And that's what George symbolizes. And of course, myself, he's in my weight. You know, now I'm the king. He was the king. Like
it's interesting that you would prefer that over Conor because I think the Conor fight would be the biggest payday, right?
Absolutely. I think.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Red panties night. That's red panties night.
We all love red panties.
I mean, the last pay-per-view they're saying tracked just below Conor and Khabib. It's a fucking.
Really?
They think it's more than 2 million pay-per-view buys.
Wow.
Huge. His comeback.
Yeah.
That motherfucker has charisma.
Absolutely, and you can't take anything away from Conor, man. Conor has put himself in that part, in that status. To be that guy, and even sometimes I have to think, I'm like, man, like that, because some guys get envious of that. Like, how did he do that? Like some guys are just special like that, and Conor is that guy. He's special like that.
Yeah,
you know. So he people just gravitate towards him, and he, you know, special guy. But can you imagine me fighting Conor? Like that wouldn't even be fair. It would not be fair. Like everyone has a puncher's chance, but it would not be fair. Like you saw what Khabib did to him at 55. Now imagine me doing that to him at 70. And I'm not just going to take him down. I'm going to march forward. I'm going to hit this guy. I'm going to beat on him. I'm going to take him down. I would do some bad things to Conor. And not just because it's not that I don't like the guy. I mean, Conor's Conor.
You just think that he's a natural 55.
Yeah,
and he fought at 45, and you'd have to chop both your fucking legs off to make 45.
That's when they say impossible. That's absolutely impossible.
Literally impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah, you'd have to get a tapeworm.
Yeah, it would be bad. Like you ever seen me at weight get down to weight?
Yeah,
I look real African, don't I?
You are very thin. Well,
You see how Joe said that you're very thin.
I can tell you're sucking a lot of water. But George Lockhart says that big muscular guys like yourself, that it's easier for them to cut weight because your muscle's mostly water.
And that's the thing I worked with Corey on is we've been able to keep more muscle on now through camp to where it makes that cut a lot easier.
That's so funny because that's sort of, in a lot of people's eyes, that would be counterintuitive. Like he was talking about Yoel Romero, and he's like, that's the perfect body for cutting weight. I'm like, that is so crazy. Like, it looks like the guy's got no weight to lose.
Yoel's hard too. Like
a
have
brick.
Have you ever hugged him?
Yes.
Like I hug him. I hugged him a couple weeks ago. I'm like, what?
Well, Luke Rockhold said when he fought him, he said it feels like he's made out of steel.
Yeah,
he was like, even when you hit him, it hurts.
I can understand that because Luke kicked him. Luke tore up his legs.
Yeah.
In that fight.
Yeah.
And we're in the back, and I'm looking at Luke's shin. It's all torn up. I mean, just bleeding, cut up. I'm like,
was that before the staph infection?
Yeah.
Is that what caused the staph infection?
I don't know. It could have been because I think it was at that same leg.
His knees, his shin rather, so fucked up. Like he's had skin grafts and all kinds of shit. And he still has to put a sleeve over it when he fights.
Yeah. It was bad. Good thing he's good looking.
He's a handsome devil, isn't he?
No homo, but he's a good looking dude.
A little too handsome. It's like confusing.
And
like,
then
how are you so good at fighting? You're so beautiful.
Can you imagine a good looking guy beating you up?
Beating the fuck out of you too. Not just beating you up, but like you have zero chance.
Yeah, and then kicking you in the head at the same time you wake up. What happened?
Beautiful,
oh no, that good looking guy beat the shit out of you.
Beautiful world champion. Like what? That's not supposed. Beautiful, tall, perfect bone structure world champion. What?
And now you walk through every airport or every a mall, and his face is on cologne. His face is
pretty,
on
duck face.
The Zoolander steel, blue steel.
That's what he's doing now, right? He's done. He's basically done fighting, right? For now,
I don't know. You can't. Luke is one of those weird guys. You can't just say, "Oh, it's over." Luke is one of those guys. I think he can wake up, get up tomorrow on the couch, like, I want to go train. Let's take a fight.
Really?
I think he's one of those guys, and I don't think it's not over for him completely. I think he can still compete.
Don't you think that he should be 185 though? Well, here's my thought.
Luke's a big guy.
He is a big guy, but here's my thought. There should be more weight classes, period. 85 to 205 is bonkers. The fact there's a 20-pound gap like that, that's 20 steaks. Think of 20 steaks. That's a giant amount of fucking meat.
True.
Like you're talking about two different categories of people. 10 pounds is reasonable. And obviously boxing it's much less. Yeah. They have 54, then they have 60, and then they have 68. They have weird gaps. Like boxing has some strange gaps, like 47, 54. It's weird. But I think 10 is good.
Yeah, I agree with you. But then, look at boxing. Do you even know all the weight classes? Can you?
I don't, because I'm not that much of a fan.
Yeah,
I don't know who the champions are in all the weight classes.
So that's the thing. And then it's, that's the thing about it is UFC has this mystique right now to where you know the champions.
Yes.
There's only a few weight classes. Now you start adding to that, which I agree there should be more. Mm-hmm. Does that dilute everything that's going on? Which I don't think it will, because I thought once, the UFC went to change and left Fox or left this, that I'm like, oh man, this is gonna die out, or when they
Did you really? I
was like, man, I don't know if the sport's gonna keep going the way it is. Or when they sold to WME, I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna keep going. And then it's one of those things. It's a original sport. It doesn't matter where you're at. Everybody speaks fighting.
Yes. Well, I felt like when they went to ESPN, I'm like, Jesus, this is perfect. It's going to be bigger. I thought it was an amazing move. I'm like, ESPN?
It's proven to be that right now.
Everybody watches ESPN.
Yes.
It's on every fucking bar all over the country.
Everywhere.
It's just too big of a network. Also, Fox had all sorts of other shit going on too.
Oh, yeah.
And then fighting.
Yes.
But ESPN is all sports. Like, there's no distraction. It's like you go there looking to watch some shit. Either you're watching a game or you're watching a fight.
Yeah, and that's what, Dana Hess came out and said that was the plan. That's where he wanted to get to.
I was worried about the ESPN Plus shit. When they went all pay-per-views to ESPN Plus, I was like, oh no, this could be a disaster. But it's not.
Well, I mean, when you got guys like Conor,
Yes.
you know, that he's an outlier. That doesn't really,
Right.
you know, he can still do numbers.
But I love it because I can watch it on my phone. That's
Yes.
what I love. Because sometimes I have to do some family shit or something like that. And I can sneak away if there's a big fight.
Yes.
And I can watch it. I just put the headphones on and watch it on my phone.
But
you
it
know,
makes sense
live.
because the world is shifting to that.
Yes.
Everybody's streaming now.
Everything's streaming.
Everything is streaming.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for them going that route. Initially, for guys like myself, it didn't make sense. But, you know, at the end of the day, you just kind of have to.
You mean in terms of like
with
the
it.
amount of money that you can make for people?
Yeah,
Was it a
absolutely.
significant cut?
Well, initially it's going to be because now you go from where the average Joe just like, oh, you know what? Let's watch some UFC today. I see it on my cable. All right, just order. Boom, right there, order.
Right.
To where now you got to get online and you got to, you know, order it. You got to buy the subscription and all of that. To where it made it tough because, you know, people are lazy. People don't want to do that extra work. It's like,
Right.
oh, I can't. Oh, fine. Screw it. I don't care about it. So, of course, it hit the numbers really, really hard. But I think eventually it's going to level out and, you know, it's going to make sense.
Yeah, I think so too. I think more people are having those smart TVs where you can just download apps.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I use Apple TV, which is the shit. You can just get everything. You can get DAZN. You can get anything. ESPN, UFC.
It's too much for my
Fight
brain.
Pass. Too much?
It's too much. You've got Apple TV, you've got Amazon TV,
Yeah.
you've got Hulu, you've got Netflix, you've got it's like I have 10 different subscriptions and I'm paying for cable
Yeah.
to where it's like this is crazy. This is ridiculous.
Well, they're trying to battle it out, right?
Yeah,
Disney
everyone's-
Plus, and then HBO's got what is HBO's called? HBO Max.
HBO Max and now they're all like linking up with musical guys as well. Like Amazon's got Amazon Music. One of them is like with Pandora. The other one's like with what is it? Spotify. Like they're like it's a battle right now with all these guys.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I was really shocked when HBO got out of boxing. I was like, I can't believe that. From when I was a kid, HBO boxing was the shit.
Yeah.
Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant. You know, I mean that's how it was back in the day. It was just you always knew. George Foreman was doing commentary. Roy Jones Jr. was doing commentary.
Yeah, I think when the change of the figureheads change, I think that makes a big difference. You know, the people that are calling the shots when they, you know, because HBO, you see that as something that's like a generational type of deal. Like that's the big boss. It's not just, you know, you be the boss now. I think that's something that's passed down. So when the next guy in line is not, you know, with boxing, then they're going to slowly pull out. Or they're not with the sport. So
it was such a tradition. Boxing on HBO was such a tradition.
Yeah.
It was so part of HBO.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, thinking back, all those big fights, the Tyson era, all
Roy
these
Jones
guys,
Jr.
George Jones Jr.
All that was on HBO.
Yeah, and so it's
Max Kellerman.
It's crazy
when
how
he
it's
came
gone
aboard.
now.
Yeah.
You know, but
That's weird.
yeah. Speaking of Tyson, you know, I spent some time with him not too long ago.
Did you get high as fuck?
No,
You don't have to say.
You know what?
Just go,
I
no.
did the I did their podcast and the hot boxing.
Did you get hotboxed?
I think I did. I think I caught some contact. I'm not gonna lie. They were all
course.
smoking in there, and I walked out of there feeling lighter.
Oh yeah.
I felt so much lighter. I was just like, what?
I feel great.
Okay, this is
Dude,
good. It's not
getting
bad.
high with Mike Tyson and doing a podcast was one of the weirdest moments of my life.
Really?
Yeah, man, because I idolized him as a kid. And here I am, I'm sitting across from him. Dude, when I was young and Mike Tyson was the champ, he was a fucking icon. It was different.
Still that way.
Yeah, but it was back. But what I'm saying is, like, when he was the champ, it was different than any other champ. People forget the heavyweight division back there was stagnant. It was stagnant. Nobody cared. Like, Larry Holmes was a phenomenal boxer, but Larry Holmes had beaten Muhammad Ali, and no one ever forgave him. He beat the fuck out of Ali, and it was when Ali was already done, and everybody felt sad that now Larry Holmes was the champ, and they didn't appreciate him. And then the people that Larry Holmes fought, they were kind of lackluster. No one stood out as being this fucking guy. And then when Spinks beat him by decision, it's like the whole division was just stagnant.
Yeah.
And then Tyson came along, and you weren't even watching a fight. You were watching an execution, and you were watching an event. Like, everybody wanted to watch the Tyson, and would get mad. It would only last 30 seconds. Like, fuck!
Yes, and that's like, those guys are special.
Yeah.
And which is, I believe, what we're witnessing with Conor. You know, there comes guys that are special, who may not win all the time, because towards the end of Tyson's career, it didn't win all the time.
Right.
But he was still that special.
Yeah, he was an iconic person.
And now being able to hang around him, and I get that feeling that you got, Joe.
Yeah.
I get that feeling. Like,
I'm so nervous, man.
You know, I sat next to Mike. Shout out to those guys at the Tyson Ranch, Rob, and all those guys. You know, every time I spend time with Mike, I'm just like, oh,
it's weird. That's Mike Tyson. He's right there.
And we talk, and he gave us me and Henry Cejudo, that's like my brother now. We spent some time together. We spent some time with Mike, and he gave us some crazy advice. You know,
what did he say?
Some important advice, because we see certain situations, like now as competitors, as fighters, we'll be in the gym, and your training partner would just beat the shit out of you one day, and you will leave, and you feeling like, I suck. I'm not that good. I'm not this guy. I'm not that good anymore. I can't, like, no, I'm sucking, because I'm starting to feel that more and more now, because when I spar for these big fights, I like to make them kind of like an event. I want to make them feel like I'm gonna fight. So I like to I don't want music. I don't want this. I want it to be me and just them, and not just when you're in a room and everybody's sparring at the same time. It's a different feel. You don't really get that adrenaline feel, that really, fight or flight mode. You never feel that, because there's so much distractions going on, so many things, so many different sounds that you're hearing. But when it's just you and them, it's a completely different ballgame. And so I like to make it feel like that. So I will get beat up some Saturdays. I would just get the shit beat out of me, because I've got maybe 3-4 different guys rotating in on me that my coaches all picked. And it sucks when you're getting a new guy every round, and this guy's just beating on you. My last fight, guys were taking me down and holding me down and just beating on me. And I would go home thinking, man, I suck. Like, I'm not good anymore. Like, this sucks. How do I deal with this? Like, I'm going to lose this fight. This sucks. But somehow, some way, you always turn the corner.
When do you feel like the corner gets turned? Do you have like I know you're big on routine, but do you have it in your head that like somewhere around like 6 weeks in, things start to turn?
2.5, 3 weeks out.
3 weeks out.
3 weeks out from the fight.
So how many weeks into training are you? When you like, what's a particular?
I'm always training, but I like to do like maybe I want to say 11 week camp.
So for 8 weeks, shit might be going bad.
Yeah, so you'll have like about 8 weeks out, I'm feeling good. Like, I'm still feeling good. I'm still kind of beating these guys up. I'm still kind of doing what I want. Then 6 weeks, your body's starting to be like, oh man, bro, we've been training for a while. I'm kind of tired. So it's even now. And then you're 4 weeks out, and now you're just getting beat up. Like, these guys are just beating on you. Your body's tired. Your body's like, I'm done. I'm done training. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And you're getting beat on. And mentally, you're thinking, bro, I'm going to lose this fight. I suck. I'm not good. I suck. And then, you're mad. I suck bad. I'm cursing myself in the car. Bro, that was trash. And I'm watching the videos recording. How'd you get hit with that? You got taken. Bro, you're trash. You're bad. You're going to lose. You're going to get knocked out in front of thousands of people, bro. And then it's like after about 3 weeks out, you start to kind of turn the corner, because you're getting closer and closer to the fight. Now my mind's like, oh, bro, we're getting close to this fight. We're about to fuck this dude up. And then you start turning the corner mentally. You start getting strong, and I started getting stronger and stronger. And then at that point, I'm okay with whatever's going to happen, because my training partners just beat the crap out of me for weeks on end. And I went through that. And we asked Mike, like, Mike, what do you think about this? Like, is this normal, that feeling like this? Mike's like, yeah, hell yeah, that's normal. And in a special way, and in his voice, he's like, there were certain times where, you would come in the room in the practice and you'd watch me practice and you would see my training partner just kick the shit out of me. You would think he was the champion. You know, you would think he was a champion, that I was just a scrub in there giving him some rounds. But then you take him out there and you put him in front of under the lights, put 17,000, 20,000 people around him, and he can't do it. And he just can't do it. That's what makes champions champions, being able to deal and handle all the chaotic stuff that happens before, after, and what's happening around them. And so I, you know, that was just like, man, you know, he's so right, because some guys, and I've watched several guys in the practice room be doing techniques. It's like, how is that even possible? Like hitting you with crazy stuff. But then you put him in there, put him under the lights, and it looks like he's an amateur.
That is one of the weirder things about gyms, is those guys who are gym killers.
Yes.
Inside the gym, they are fucking killers. And then for whatever reason, they can't do it.
Can't do it.
My thought is always like, can't you teach those guys how to keep it together when it comes to a fight? Or is that just something that's inside?
It's something that's inside. Because I've seen guys that they know, like, these guys put on clinics inside the practice room, but then they get out there, they just find a way to lose. They find a way to lose. They can't deal with it. They can't handle the pressure. They can't handle everything that comes with it. They just find a way to lose, to where you're just like, how is that possible? Even if the guy's nowhere near their level, they find a way to lose.
Yeah, it's a weird psychological characteristic that these gym killers have, because you would feel like they would have so much confidence because they do so well in the gym. But some guys, like, the difference between the way they look in the gym and the way they look when they're fighting is like, who are you?
Yeah.
You're not even the same person.
Yeah.
You drop in your hands, you get tired real easy, you're all nervous. It's weird.
It goes to, I think, because in the gym, you know, they're familiar with you. They know how hard I'm going to hit them.
Yeah.
They know how, if I'm going to come forward or if I'm going to back down, if they hit me with this, and this. You know, so it makes it easier to be safer in the gym.
Yeah.
But then when you got to fight a guy, you don't really know how well he trained. You don't know if he's coming for a war or if this guy's coming for a point fight. So you don't know all of that. All that anxiety plays into it. And that it takes a champion's mentality to be able to hold all that control and still go out there and do your job. And some guys just don't have that in them.
Yeah, and some guys get really wrapped up in the fear of looking bad.
Yes.
The looking bad is just like hanging over their head. I'm about to get knocked out. Everyone's going to laugh. People
that's
going
very
to make
real.
fun of me. They're going to fuck with me.
That's very real. Can you imagine me losing to Kobe Covington?
Ooh, that would have been the biggest one, right? There was so much shit
talking. Oh my God, it was so bad. Man, I'm telling you, I'm in I'm in Abu Dhabi. People run up to me in the mall. Man, I can't wait for you to kill this guy. I'm in Brazil. Oh my God, I can't wait for you to kill this guy. I'm in Dominican Republic. They can't even speak English, but they're like, I can't wait for you to kill this guy, my friend. And bro, everywhere. So, like, imagine me going out there and what I was feeling. I took advice from Rashad. I had to really make friends with that feeling and accept it.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. At the weigh-ins, when Susie painted the Nigerian flag on your face and you're staring him down and you just had this big smile on your face. You look so calm. And I was like, that guy is ready. But you were so composed at the weigh-in. I was like, there's no bullshit. There was no fuck you. There was no emotions. You just had a big smile on your face.
Yeah. I mean, it's at some point you get to where it's no longer the talking. Like, nah, I get it. You got to sell a fight here and there, you know, this and that. But I try to stay as true to myself as possible. Like, obviously, I understand people want to be entertained, and I'm going to do the best that I can now of selling a fight without going too far out of myself. But when that contract is signed and I know that I have to go in there and take care of business, there's no more of that. Like, I have to be myself. I have to be real. And this guy said a lot of things that were very, very personal. You know, a lot of things about my previous manager, you know, a lot of things about my team, my current manager, you know, and a lot of things about my family and my situation as well, as far as my father, all of that, to where it really hit home, to where it's the best way for me to teach you a lesson. It's not by going in there fighting angry. I have to go in there being calculated like my normal self and really teach you a lesson, because anything you say can and will be used against you inside that octagon.
What was he saying to you? He was talking to you. I couldn't hear because it was so loud in that the arena when you were weighing in. What was he saying to you?
I think he was saying, "Oh, be ready. Hope you're ready tomorrow, Junior. Hope you're ready. Hope you're ready. I'm coming. Hope you're ready tomorrow. I'm coming."
He seemed so calm too. He had a big ass smile on his face.
He seemed calm,
like,
but you know, when I look at these guys, I'm looking for more than just that. Like, I'm reading his body, I'm reading everything, and he's looking at me the whole time. And he did the best, because I know he's a competitor. He did the best he could to hide his fear. You know, and I was afraid too. I'm afraid. Every one of these fights, you got to be afraid. But I make friends with it. I'm okay with being afraid. I'm not worried about it. I am okay with that. So I'm watching him, and there's a moment, if you see that weigh-in video, the stare down, when you're, you know, after we stare down, and I'm watching him the whole time. I'm just watching him, and he's doing this good job. He's trying to stay on me, and then he looks away. And I just read his body. I'm just like, okay, I know how worried he is.
Isn't it weird? Like, you know that your opponent is worried. You know, everyone's worried, right? Everyone's nervous, but you gotta kind of see it.
Yeah.
Because you could fuck yourself in your mind that this guy's not even scared.
Yes.
I'm scared and he's not.
Yes.
You can mind fuck yourself, even though you know it's not even, like, everyone before a cage fight has to be nervous.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's weird, but because I'm looking at him and I'm studying him and I'm seeing the level of fear that he has, and you know, I'm trying to assess the level of fear, whether it's something I can deal with or it's something that I'm just gonna have to go in and have no choice. You know,
he looked pretty fucking confident.
He was
to
very
me.
confident, but you know, I could see how superior I was in there to him. My level of fear and his level of fear, I can see where they were at, because. And you got to be mindful of his level of fear as well, because a caged animal is a very dangerous animal, you know. And so I'm seeing him, and that's kind of how the way that went.
I watched that fight again the other day. I was playing it in the gym while I was working out. I was like, that is a crazy pace. Like, you fuckers came out guns blazing. I mean, it, in my opinion, is one of the very best welterweight title fights ever. I mean, it was epic. It was epic.
I'm watching.
The pace. Yeah, there it is.
I'm watching. Keep it on him. I'm watching. And boom, it looks away.
Well, he had to. I was talking to him.
Yeah.
You just got it in your head, man.
He looked down. I'm like, oh, there was just a little moment just to read his spirit. I felt his spirit at that moment, and I'm just like, it's not the same. It's not the same. Like, I'm gonna hurt this kid. It's not the same. But he's going to come out, he's going to fight, but I'm going to hurt him. You know, at no point in that fight did I think I wasn't going to hurt him.
When you dropped him in the final round, when you stopped the fight, when you dropped him, you saw him go down, what was going through your head?
I was like, oh, I'm hitting now. I'm hitting, because, you know, when you land a punch good, you don't really feel it. And so at that moment, I was kind of clipping him. I was connecting. Everything I clipped him with was he was feeling the power at that point. You know, I'd heard him a few times before, but everyone kept talking about his pace, and this and that. And I carry power all the way throughout. That's how I train. The power is going to be the same. The way I hit mitts with my coaches, Henry Hooft and all these, it's all the same. It's not all tap, 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 tap here, and then a little bit of power here, tap, 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 tap here, a little bit. Yes, I know how to do that. I know how to mix it up like boxers do. They know how to put a little bit into this, distract you with this, then touch you with that. I know how to do that too, but I carry the power all the way throughout. So by the 5th round, when I hit him with I hit him with the body, and I hit a punch. I hit him with a right hand that stunned him, and he stumbled back. And at that point, I was just in the driver's seat. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling him. And then I hit him with a left hook. Boom. That hurt him. I could feel everyone, they hurt him, because I'm not barely feeling the punches here. And then when I put that cannon on his face, boom, and he went down, I'm just like, oh, stay relaxed. We got time. You know, the goal is to get him out of here. I'm not going to jump on him, because I've made that mistake before. I've dropped a guy now and jumped on him going crazy trying to get him out of there. I mean, stay on him. Just stay relaxed, and I'm going to get him done. And at that point, I was just you get to a certain zone to where you see him coming, and he's just like, whew, the punches are going by. And then I land the other one, and he drops, and I'm just like, okay, it's time to get on him and finish him here.
Did you recognize that something was wrong with his jaw? Boom, there it is.
No. I watched the fight over, and my coach and my corner told me that his jaw was broken. I didn't even hear them.
boom, that second right hand.
I didn't even hear them.
Were you surprised the way they stopped the fight?
No, but and this is what I'm saying is
I gotta say I was a little surprised when I looked at it.
Yeah, I mean you think about it like that, and it's like, oh man, he got up right away. You know, like it might have been an early stoppage, but then if you watch the last like that 30-second before that, you see the shots that he was taking. Like I hit him with that right hand, boom, he stumbled back, almost fell down. Then
I was wondering if they knew that his jaw was broken.
I mean, that's between the referee. The referee might know, but I personally didn't. But if you see him take shots like that, you just got dropped twice,
right, and
now you're holding on to a leg, and now this is just an earmuff. You're trying to protect yourself, and I have no signs of stopping. That's the referee's job to get in there and stop you. And I know some guys are like, oh, well, they should have let him go. It's a title fight. You should have let him get knocked out completely or this and that. But it's the referee's not doing his job of protecting you if that happens.
It's interesting that you said every fight takes a little bit out of you.
Yes.
And I think that's important for people to hear, because we've all seen fighters. And, like we go to boxing. A perfect example is Meldrick Taylor when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez. Did you ever see that fight?
No.
Tremendous fight. Meldrick Taylor was winning the fight, but Chavez just kept the pressure on him, was beating his body, kept the pressure on him. And then finally with literally, I think the fight was stopped with 4 seconds to go.
Wow.
Yeah, Richard Steele waved it off, and Meldrick Taylor stood up, and he talked to him, but you could tell Meldrick Taylor was out of it, and they stopped the fight. Meldrick Taylor was never the same again. He was never the same again. Terry Norris starched him after that. He started slurring his words. It was real bad. It was like that one fight took everything out of him.
Yeah, there's something people don't really see. Everyone's attracted to violence. Everybody wants to see the violence. They want to see you get hit. They want to see you hit someone. They want to see the blood. But people don't see what this takes away from your spirit. Each fight, win or lose, it takes something from you. Like only myself and Colby Covington are going to know what that fight did to us. Now, could I do it? I can do it again next week. I have no problem doing it again. But each and every fight takes something away from you.
But is it balanced out? More so, for sure, if you take a beating, right? But is it balanced out by hard training and recuperation to where you can maintain the exact same level? Or is every fight you're slightly less good than you were before, but you're so much better that you still have enough leeway?
That as far as the preparation and the training and all of that stuff, yeah, that accounts to it. Yeah, it takes away from you. But I'm saying the act of actually fighting the fight from your spirit, from your energy, that takes away from you.
So you mean your ability to get up for it?
Your ability to fight another man. Your ability to that bravado to fight another person, that spirit, that killer spirit, it takes away from you. And it could add to it. It changes that spirit in some shape, form, or fashion. It absolutely does. There's this video a while back. I forget the fighter. He was a wrestler turned fighter. He's bleach blonde hair. I forget his name, but I think the video was called Unfaded Glory. I think USA Wrestling put it together. And it had all these wrestlers on it, Brandon Slay, Travell DeLognev, who was my teammate. A lot of different, was on that video. And I watched that while I was training for the 2012 Olympics, trying to make the team. And that video stays with me. It changed my mentality of how to think, because it really put things in perspective. Because you go out there and you battle this hard match and you lose to this guy. Joe, I've won hundreds of wrestling matches. I can't remember hardly any of them. The ones that I've lost, though, I remember most of them. Why is that? Because each one took something away from my spirit. Somehow. I remember they took something away from me. I can tell you really, the fights that I won, the MMA fights, I don't really care that much about. I win and I move on. But the one that I lost, oh yeah. I know exactly why. I knew what happened. You know what happened in that fight.
Do you remember when you had that fight with Damian Maia, and early in the fight, Damian Maia is kind of standing and holding onto your back,
yes,
and then the referee separated you?
Yeah.
Were you thank God that fucking referee
No, because I wasn't gonna give that. There's no way I was prepared to stand there the whole round. Like,
but didn't you think that was a weird way to separate you?
It was when he did eventually separate. Yeah, the timing wasn't very good.
No,
because at some point we stood there. We were there for like almost a minute.
But it's hard to get to that position on a guy like
it
you.
It's very. I mean, that Damien, people don't realize how good. Like, Ben Askren found out the hard way.
Yeah,
how good this guy is. And yeah, I could have taken him down whenever I wanted and tried to play that game, but that's not a game you play.
Right.
It's like trying to swim with sharks, and you're a little bitty shark yourself, but you're trying to swim with these mammoth sharks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. You know, Damian Maia is just that guy. To where I'm like, why even flirt with this?
Right.
Why?
His jiu-jitsu is just so high level.
It's so high level, it's so tricky. I mean, he's just done it so much and so well to where he's good in certain positions. To where it's like, I'm like, you know what? There's no point in even going there. But I was prepared to die rather than let him take me down and go down here.
Yeah.
You know, even though we never know. I might have been able to defend down there on the ground, which I worked a lot on my defense down there. Like, my ground is no slouch.
Rory McDonald did. Remember Rory McDonald?
Yeah, Rory McDonald. I was fully prepared to do that. You know, but why?
Masvidal did as well.
Yeah, he did a good job of you know, not getting submitted.
Yeah.
You know, like, but at the end of the day, you know, he still took an L in that. I'm just saying.
Well, I know you have to say that. Are you in conversation with the UFC about your next fight, or do you just rest up, heal up, and then let them know, hey, I'm good to go?
No,
how does that work?
They, you know, if they're like, hey, does this date work? All right, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not. I've worked to get to the point where now I don't have to call guys out. I'm not trying to pick fights. Oh, no, I want that fight. I want that fight.
Right.
Oh, this guy, I've been begging for this guy to fight me. No, like, the belt has to move. Like, it has to move. So when the UFC says, okay, here, this is the next fight, hey, that's the next fight. I've never turned down a fight.
So you haven't had any conversation with them at all where they said, hey, you know, when do you think you'll be ready? Like, have you had any of these kind of conversations?
Me and Dana, we've talked.
Yeah.
You know, my management, we've talked about it, and yeah, I've told them when, you know, I'll be ready. Like, I'll be ready. Give me a month. You know, let this thing, you know, heal out, because I mean, you can see I can make a fist now. You know, let this thing heal out, and I'm cracking.
And what is the conversation that they have with you? Do they say, hey, we would like you to fight X guy? Like, how does it work?
I'm fishing here.
Well,
yeah, no, they put out the guys, and let's be, you know, not being a hater, let's be honest. Like, if you really look at the division, I've beaten almost everybody there in that top 10. You know, it's a matter of who everybody really wants, who they think it's next. And Dana agrees. Dana thinks that what's his name, George is the next guy. And you know, I have no problem with that. I told Dana, I have never turned down a fight. You say when, and you say who, and let's get that money.
Will you try to make it for both belts? Because I want to see you make a video if you beat him of you throwing that thing in the closet.
You know what? You know, I absolutely will do that now.
Do you know how funny Dana, that would be?
I'm gonna tell
this
Dana.
Is what I think of this belt.
I'm gonna tell Dana, I need that belt. No, you know what? Don't even make me a new one. I want his.
Yeah.
Take that. Give it back to me. I want that.
But that's always weirded me out that you don't get that person's belt. You get a new belt. I'm like, but aren't you fighting for the belt?
No, it makes sense.
I guess because then someone's holding on to it.
Yeah,
it getting makes their funk all over it and shit.
Yeah, right? I don't want the same, you know, that dirt. I don't know what they've done with that thing.
Tim Sylvia, when he won the heavyweight title, he used to wear his belt everywhere. He would go to clubs. He'd wear his fucking UFC belt.
I said that I would do that. I said that I would do that because I hear a lot of guys, like Mike Tyson said he wore his, what was it, the WBC? He wore it for like a week straight. He showered with I think there's a picture of him in a shower with it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that when I get it. But then I got it and I went home like, there's no fucking way I'm going to get in the shower with this thing.
It does seem kind of crazy to do. Plus you can fuck up the leather, right?
Yeah, it's so nice. I'm like, And my daughter like had it for like a couple of days. Like, she just laid next to it. She likes looking at it. And,
I'm sure.
And she like told all her friends at school, damn, my daddy has a gold belt.
How crazy is that? For her, like, my daddy's the champion of the world.
Yeah, but she doesn't really understand.
Does she understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she knows that I'm the champion. She tells me all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the cute. I'm so soft for her.
Dude, when you brought her into the octagon, when you beat Tyron and you're holding her, I almost cried.
Every time I see that, you know, I always said I'm not gonna be that guy because you know parents have thousands of pictures on their phones of their kids. I'm like, man, I'm never gonna be that guy. I looked the other day. I had 4,500 pictures, and I guarantee that maybe 4,000 of them are of my daughter.
Of course.
And then you know, and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, when she grows up, which is why. Like some guys, yeah, you can switch up to be an entertainer, but I can't switch up too much because at some point my daughter's gonna grow up one day and it's gonna be like, who is that guy?
Why did you say that?
Why did you say that? Daddy?
Right,
why did you do this?
Right. That's
you
the
know?
picture right there.
And oh man, and I look at it and I just want it.
Well, you could see how happy you were, how proud you were.
Yeah.
And her, she was smiling. Man, that's an intense moment. That's such an intense moment.
When she grows up, I want her to be able to look at that.
Do you have a picture of that? Are you holding her while they gave you the belt?
They're making me one.
Damn, that should be framed.
Yeah, they're making me. Of course, I'm gonna frame one. And I have one too. I have a picture of. God
damn it, I'm tearing up.
I have a picture of and the one that gets me the most, and I think it was shot by photographer Eric Coleman. Is we were training on the track, and it was before I fought. No, it was right after I fought the finale, the Ultimate Fighter, and I just got into the UFC, and she's in a stroller. And we came right from it was Saturday morning workout. We had to go to the FAU track, and the guys were running. I couldn't really run, so I'm hitting mitts with Henry. And she's in the stroller. I took her straight out of bed. She's in the stroller, sitting there watching me, and I'm hitting mitts. And Eric shot the shot and somehow got her in the back. She's just in the stroller. She's like maybe 2 years old, if that, and just watching me train. And that one is the one that when I look at, I can't fight those emotions because that was, and the worst thing was that was the camp where I was having the most issues to where a couple of times I cried, physically cried because I'm like, man, my career's just starting and I can't even walk upstairs. Like my career's already done.
I tell people what you told me about not being able to walk on the concrete. You had to walk on grass.
I walk on grass. It was that bad. And I come down because I go down the stairs backwards, and everyone's kind of like, "Why do you do that? Why do you do that?"
You still do that?
Yeah, I still do that.
Really?
Yeah, it takes pressure off my knees, and so I still do it. The longest now it's a mental thing. The longer I can preserve my knees, the better. You know, and that's the thing too is my manager makes fun of me.
We gotta get you to Panama.
Yeah, but my manager makes fun of me. He's like, "Oh man, you're all hurt. You walk like an old man, but then you cross into that cage and you fight like." And I'm like, "Yeah," because when I cross that barrier, in my mind, I turn into the Nigerian Nightmare. I don't give a shit what happens. I'm ready to die in here. I don't care. I'm gonna sacrifice my body completely in here to accomplish this goal.
Do you worry about your knees not being able to hold up? Because obviously your mind is strong enough that you could fight even though you're in pain.
Not being able to hold off fighting?
Yes. Yes.
Not so much.
No?
No. Because, I mean, it's I've been making this decision for a long time. I remember the first knee surgery I had in college. And my mind was, I just can't wait to get back. What gets me back the fastest? Oh, scope, all right, snip it out. Whatever gets me back the fastest, because I just can't wait to compete. I think as long as I have this burning desire to compete, I'm okay with sacrificing my body. But once this desire starts to kind of dwindle down, I'm okay walking
When you
away.
see a guy like Michael Bisping, who's Michael's like 41 maybe? How old is Michael?
I think he's in his 40s, I think.
And he just had a knee replacement. You know, when you see that, does that make you think like, fuck, is that going to be me?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I've made friends with that.
Really?
I've made friends with the fact that I'm going to probably have to have my knees both replaced.
Jesus,
I'm going to have
man.
my shoulders probably done.
Your shoulders are fucked up too?
I mean, I'm a wrestler, just from wrestling over time. Like my back, at some point, I'm going to have to get done. I've made friends with these. Like I'm going to have to do these.
And you don't even mind, that's interesting, you don't mind talking about these injuries. You don't mind talking about because you feel like it's still not going to save them.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, it's not going to save you. Like guys, oh, his knees are bad. Yeah, my knees were real bad before Kobe. My knees were real bad before Damian. My ribs were real bad before Tyron or the other guy. Doesn't matter. Once I cross in and I get in, when I'm locked into that cage, you're trying to hurt me, but I'm going to hurt you worse. And all these guys right now, like everybody has their time. Tyron had his time. You know, George had his time. You know, right now, God is just saying, this is my time. And I'm going to maximize it to my ability. So I don't care. I'm going to give everything in there just because of my knees. You can know it's my knees. People kick me all the time. Kobe kicked me a few times. I don't give a shit. It's not going to save you. It's not going to save these guys. And with Kobe as well, I mean, that fight was a lot more personal than a lot of people think. You know, obviously with the whole situation with my dad and him saying whatever he said. And I know people say certain things, and Conor's a master at this, to try to get you off your game, to try to to rattle you, make you mad enough to where you come out and you're just crazy, fighting them, and to where you could be the best conditioned athlete, but you can get in there and get an adrenaline dump. You look like you haven't trained a day in your life. And I knew that's what they were like. I'm not stupid. I knew that's what these guys were trying to do. I knew that's what, especially him, he was trying to do, but I wasn't going to play into that.
You had a very steady pace. It was very interesting. You could see that when you're fighting, like right away in the first round, first of all, his pace is fucking crazy. I mean, that guy throws a lot of volume. But you could tell that you were not going to blow your wad early.
No.
You were fighting very measured, very disciplined, and you were throwing a lot of front kicks to the body, man. That front kick to the body is nasty.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at his style stylistically and matching him up with mine, like I could have came in there and we could have wrestled.
Yeah.
Everyone thought they're just gonna wrestle each other, but
did you think that was possible, that he was gonna try to wrestle with you more?
There was a possibility of him trying to wrestle, but I knew that he was worried about my wrestling because Tyron was a 2-time All-American. Tyron did better than him in Division I wrestling, better accolades. And we saw what happened with that fight. So I knew he was worried about me wrestling, me taking him down. Because if I take you down, you're not getting up unless I let you up. So I knew he was worried about that. But then there came a moment in the fight to where we just looked at each other, and it was just like, no, not today. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I was fully aware. I was fully prepared to bang it out with him. It
was very surprising because it really did turn out to be basically a kickboxing fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that was...
Yeah, we just looked at each other and was just like, all right, let's do it, mano y mano. Let's go. It's not gonna be wrestling tonight, so let's do it.
Man, the two of you guys together, depending on how the rest of the division stacks up, because it's just such a fucking talented division. There's so much talent in that division. There's so many good fighters, but depending on how everything plays out, you guys could have 2 or 3 fights, easily.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. First of all, I want to see how he bounces back from that because, like I said, there was a lot that went into that fight. He said a lot. He did a lot. Like having all that weight on your shoulders, saying all the things that you said, ruffling all the feathers that you ruffled, and then coming out and he took a beating from the fans after that. Like the backlash that he took.
Oh yeah.
It was I don't know if you saw some of the shit that was online. Like he took a humongous.
Oh, I'm sure.
And rightfully so. I mean,
that's the game.
Yeah, that's the game.
That's the game. You want to talk crazy shit, then they're gonna. I mean, the reason why they're tuning into the fight, so many of them, is because of all the crazy shit you've talked.
Yes.
So naturally, if he loses, all the people that were rooting for you are like, you fucking knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. And so I want to see how he bounces back from all that because he's never had to do it before.
Psychologically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never had to do it before. He's never had to talk all that shit, then go in there and get your mouth shut, literally.
And it's going to be interesting to see like who they match him up with, I mean, who do they...
I mean, he's got possibilities. Like he can fight Masvidal.
Yeah. For sure.
He can fight Masvidal.
They used to be boys, right?
Yeah, they used to be boys. They used to be training partners. And there's videos online of, you see what he was doing to Masvidal early on. Like, like there's videos online with that of, and then it's like, he can fight Tyron Woodley. Like Tyron wins this fight. Like, I think they both fight for the #1 contender. So it is what it like. The possibilities are endless for him because there's so many guys that want to kick his ass.
Yeah,
so many guys in the division, but I don't think a lot of guys in the division can kick his ass.
Right.
You know, so he's got possibilities. He could fight guys,
and it's also possible that he can learn from that fight with you and come back a better fighter. That is possible too. We don't know how much it's going to take out of him. But it is possible that he could come from that. I mean, that was a fucking crazy fight. And that was the first really crazy fight that he's experienced. Other than the one submission loss that he had in the UFC where he had an injured rib. He had to take the fight. Was that Warlley Alves?
Warlley Alves.
Yeah. So when you see him next, then we'll get an understanding of where he's at.
Yeah, but the thing, though, is there's just certain guys you can't beat. I don't know what it is or why it is, but there's just certain guys that you cannot beat. And I think I'm that guy that he's just not going to beat. I will not allow myself to lose to him.
Do you think if you had two good hands, so if your hand wasn't hurt, it would have been a different fight?
I think I hurt him. I think I hurt him earlier. But, man, hats off to him. He's a tough guy. I don't take anything away from him. He fought a very good fight.
That had to be the most satisfying.
He hit me the most I've ever been hit ever. You know, he was hitting me, he was touching me, and I was never really hurt bad, but they were stinging shots. Like they stung me a couple of times. I'm like, this motherfucker, he's touching me right now. He's touching me. But at no point did I was like, I'm gonna come forward. I'm gonna hurt him.
He's a fucking swinger, man. I mean, he throws a lot of shots too. His volume is incredible. But that had to be the most satisfying to you.
It was. When I got back to the hotel and I sat there, it just, I mean, it was like, and I was by myself because I like to decompress, and I'm just like, whew, we got it done. I mean, all this shit that this guy said, even my dad was, was like, go take care of business, and to know that I went in there and I did take care of business, it was extremely satisfying. And it didn't hurt when a surplus of like celebrities, crazy celebrities. Thank you for
that whole MAGA
the shit out of this guy.
You attach yourself to that whole MAGA thing, and there's a lot of people that'll support you because of that. Yeah. But man, there's so many. Like if you fall down, there's so many that just can't wait to piss on you and kick you.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's such a polarizing position that he took.
He did, but I'm friends with this Trump now. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. You were saying that you were going to go visit the White House, and tell me about the book because that's what's hilarious.
I'm going to do it. Yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to the White House.
But you also
me and Dave talked about it.
Donald Trump Jr.'s book.
I picked up Donald Trump. I picked up the book, and initially it was like, okay. Because this guy tried to troll me during our press conference. He was trolling me. Like, he sat there while I was talking. He was reading the book and pretending like he was reading the book. Yes. And then I'm at the airport, and I'm like, oh, there's the book. And I'm like, fuck it. I've got time today. So I sit there, and I'm trolling them, and I buy the book. I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna buy this book. So I actually buy the book, and I take the screenshot, and I posted it. You should have seen the reaction that I got from fans after that. He was ridiculous.
Did Donald Trump Jr. reach out to you?
We actually messages back and forth.
Hey, you're wearing a red hat too. It's the wrong red hat, but you're wearing a red hat.
No, but
that is fucking hilarious.
We actually messaged, and I don't know the Trumps personally, so I can't go out there and like, oh, I'm bashing them just because this idiot was attaching himself to them, So I look forward to meeting them and actually talking to them.
Listen, that would be a great moment for you to bring that title to the White House, despite of all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And just let everybody know you rise.
Yeah. I mean, who would ever imagine that I, coming from the village in Africa that I did, and getting to this point and actually going in there to the White House.
We had talked about your dad and your dad being in jail, and of all people, man, Kim Kardashian has had I think something like 28 people wrongly accused, released from prison. She's all about like prison justice reform, and she makes these regular trips to the White House to talk to the president about prison reform and about getting people out of jail that got bad deals.
Yeah, and I mean that's a worthy cause. It's an amazing cause.
I stopped making fun of her.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to make fun of her anymore. She's doing great things. Like, she's a good person.
You know, and I mean, like, I don't know that family personally, so, you know, I could never really speak on them. But for someone to come out and actually, because there's so many people that are behind bars,
yes,
because of of being wrongfully accused, and the fact that a celebrity like her of her stature, is really shedding light on that and actually taking the steps to go out and actually help some of these guys is just amazing.
It's amazing.
And speaking of my father, like I said, like this is no accident that we're here. Like life this is no accident, Joe. Like the last time I was here, you know, was the first time I ever talked about it and opened up about it. And this attorney, Gray Tesh, out of South Florida, actually contacted me. He's like, hey, you know, I would love to take a look at the case and you know, look at what's going on here. And so, you know, he's kind of been like looking into it, working on it, and you know, sending the letters that need to be sent and making the calls that need to be made. And Joe, the moment I just walked in here, and this is no lie, I just showed you the text. I just walked in here, and I'm in the bathroom, and I get the text that says he's going to be released soon.
That's incredible.
And it's like...
That's incredible. You should bring him with you to the White House.
I will definitely try.
Dude.
I will definitely try.
You know how wild that would be?
Ah, man. You know, the big thing to me that would mean so much to me is to have my dad front and center for my fight. Having my dad come into the cage and put that belt around me. That would be... There's these moments in life that I call it like being floored. And that's just when your heart hits the floor. And I think those moments arrive, which is what, for me, when you think about the pursuit of happiness, these are the definitions of that, is when you can make your parents' heart hit the floor.
Yeah. By
doing something to where you're recognized so much, to where they're recognized for the work that they did raising you, the good work that they did. You know, whether it's winning a Rhodes Scholar, whether it's winning a Nobel Peace Prize. Like, can you imagine as a parent watching your child accomplish something great? Like, that feeling is the feeling that I long for. Yeah. I want to make my parents feel that as many times as possible before they're called home and they pass from this earth. And I'm sure my daughter at one point is going to want to do that. And, you know, I think winning that title, and I would have loved to see my dad's face when I won that title, and just look into him and see how he felt. So I can't wait for him to be at the next one. I can't wait for him to actually feel that.
How long has he been locked up for?
I think since 2009.
Shit, 11 years.
I think, yeah. And my dad didn't miss a beat too. Like, you go see him, my dad's the same guy.
Really?
It's the same guy. You would think this is something that would defeat somebody, that would crush them and kill him. And of course, I'm not with him day in and day out, but my dad's still the same guy to me. And so, man, I'm not gonna cry, but I can't wait for him. I can't wait for him to actually hold my dad again.
If you could choose, who would you like to see him cage side when you fight? Who would you like to be fighting when he's there for the first time?
If I could choose.
If you could choose. Would it be Red Panties Night?
Oh, man, that's a toss-up.
Red Panties Night. I don't know how you can pass up on Red Panties Night.
Listen to me. Conor can get it too, but, you know, at the same time, it's his choice. Conor has worked to get to the point where if Conor decides I want to get my ass kicked by Usman, that's his choice. You know, he has the right to make that decision because he's put himself in that position. You know, but it's not a fight that I'm going to beg for, that I really want. But I think someone brought it after my last fight that I'm sitting at right under George's record for most consecutive wins in the welterweight division. And I think I'm like one behind. And so I think, imagine me breaking that record, fighting the guy that has the record. That would be insane for me.
I think besides Conor, that's the biggest fight to
Absolutely.
make too. The other biggest fight to make is Khabib. If Khabib decided to go up to 170.
Yeah, but I would never fight Khabib.
Really?
Yeah, that's my brother. It's just like a mutual respect where I don't see myself ever. I don't see myself ever fighting Khabib. I don't see myself ever fighting Israel. Even though a lot of people kind of be hinting towards it, they're like, "Yeah, you guys need to fight. You guys need to fight." I don't see myself fighting him.
There's plenty of people
having
fight.
plenty of people having 2 belts in Nigeria is better than just having one guy holding 2 belts.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And so, there's no desire there, man. That's my guy.
I'm a giant fan of him.
Oh my God,
everything about him.
Everything.
He's hilarious. He's got
special.
a fantastic personality. He could be a huge superstar globally.
Oh, he will be. I think he will be.
He really could. He really could. I mean, he's got everything. First of all, his striking is some of the most intricate, complex, and creative striking I've ever seen.
Just fluid.
Angles and
fluid.
Yeah, just the way he switches stances and sets you up and leaves traps and.
Yes, and I'm a fan of a lot of UFC fighters. Almost every UFC fighters, I'm a fan of, and especially now getting into the analyst work too. Mm-hmm. Like I get to actually have to watch some of these guys that are just making their debuts and things like that. So I'm a fan of a lot of these guys, not just the champions. And Israel he's special.
He's special.
I get kind of envious. So I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that shit. I wish I could do this, whip my hands around the way he does it and the way he throws that little question mark kick and I'm a fan of these guys, and Israel is one of those guys that's special. And Francis, I'm a fan of Francis. I want to be able to swing at somebody even if the punch doesn't land, they fall over. I want to be able to have power like that.
Francis's power is preposterous.
It doesn't make sense.
It's preposterous.
It doesn't make sense.
His power kind of makes sense because he's so big and you see him hit hard. You know who makes no sense? Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder freaks me out, man. He foreheads guys. Blop! And they just go like they just get shut off. I don't think I've ever seen a heavyweight boxer punch like that guy. Because, when he fought Tyson Fury.
Throw that punch.
Yeah.
The way, that straight right,
the
way
he throw.
I don't think anyone was ever throwing that. Because the straight right, it's a power punch, but it's not really considered the powerful punch that puts you out like a hook.
Right.
Or a deadly uppercut.
He hits you in the face, like anywhere in the face, you go unconscious. It doesn't have to hit your jaw. It's when Luis Ortiz is on the ground going, what in the fuck? And you watch that fight again, you watch the punch land, it landed on his forehead.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And the way he set him up too, it's just like, which makes it very intriguing to see this Tyson Fury too.
Oh my God, so intriguing.
The way he set that punch up.
The guy's got 42 fights, 40 knockouts, 1 draw,
Insane.
1 decision. What the fuck? I mean, who the fuck has that? That is crazy.
Insane.
In the history of the heavyweight boxing division, there's never been a guy like that.
No.
Who starches everybody. The only one he didn't starch was Tyson Fury and that other dude, Stavern.
Yeah.
And then he fucked him up in the rematch.
Yeah, that was bad.
Crazy.
That rematch was
the rematch was crazy.
Bad.
He basically just swung on him.
Yeah.
It was like he threw boxing out the window once he had him hurt.
Call that hood fight, dude. You're just trying to get him off, get him out of there.
Deontay's on another level.
He is. The way he lands that punch, it's unreal. But Tyson Fury, man, and
crazy.
I wasn't a fan of Tyson Fury. I wasn't. I was just like, because I come from the era of watching guys like Mike Tyson who's just there to bang it out in boxing. Mm-hmm. But Tyson Fury, the way that he boxes, makes you miss, slips, and just rolls punches. And it was just like...
And for a guy who's 6'9".
And he's goofy looking.
Yes.
He's so goofy looking. He acts goofy, too. He's got that goofy personality. Yeah. But to watch him box is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing. And just big respect to him. And
just the fact that he got off the deck. That 12th round, I was at home. I'm like, oh, shit, he knocked him out in the 12th round. Like Lazarus.
He was possessed. Yeah, he was just up.
And he didn't even look wobbly.
Yeah, he was like, I'm good. And arguably won the rest of that round.
Yes. Stunned him. Stunned Deontay.
It was crazy. It was crazy to me. Crazy to me. I can't wait to see that second fight.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting. That heavyweight boxing division is fucking very, very interesting.
It is. Those top... I want to say top 5 guys.
I was very sad for Andy Ruiz, though. I was like, it's one thing if Joshua came back with a great game plan and beat him, but it was also like Andy's preparation was so bad.
I wasn't sad for him. I was disappointed in him.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a better word.
I was extremely, extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
It's like, who in your corner, who in your circle is that big of an idiot that can't make you take this seriously? Because the only way to guarantee that you get another big payday is to go out there and win that fight.
Yeah. Because
now you're still the champion. Like, the big payday has got to come.
Right. But now people are just going to avoid
No
him.
one cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one cares now. People might not even fight you again because you're a tough fight and they get nothing out of beating you.
But there's something about, like, Mexican boxing is so deeply rich with tradition, and Mexican fighters are so proud. Like, if you go back and think about all the great Mexican champions, when a Mexican fighter falls short or they don't show heart, like, look at Julio Cesar Chavez's son. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., bro, they shit on that guy hard.
Yeah, but
when he quit in that last fight,
I think that comes. I feel like he's quit in the last couple of fights.
Yeah,
but I think some people just can't handle the expectations that are put upon you.
There's that, but I think with him, he might be doing it for the wrong reasons.
Exactly. It's almost like you shouldn't have even been in boxing in the first place.
But he grew up rich. How do you mean your dad is one of the greatest boxers of all time? He's a huge superstar, and you're following in his footsteps. Julio Cesar Chavez is a fucking savage.
Yeah.
His dad was one of the all-time greats.
Yes.
And to fall short with that guy as your dad, that has got to be so. It's just gonna be so hard to follow his footsteps.
But that's the thing is, and I think that's where dads could do a better job of making the kids being okay with not actually having to do what I did.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a boxer, world champion boxer. And I know it's easier said than done because as men we want our kids, we want that bond with our kids.
Yeah.
We want to see our kids do what we did and do it better, and so we can be there, sit there and be proud of them. But he didn't necessarily have to box.
No.
And the worst part of that whole situation is you chose to box, but you're not all the way in.
Well, he missed weight too.
He's done that before.
Yeah.
I think he missed weight for the Canelo fight, didn't he?
Yeah. It's really crazy because he's a good fucking puncher. He's a tough guy. He's a big guy, but for whatever reason,
Yeah, it's...
Have you ever thought about a boxing match? Like,
absolutely.
You see, have you really?
I actually thought I was going to, instead of MMA, I actually wanted to box.
Really?
Yeah, because I was living at the Olympic Training Center, and my girlfriend at the time was an Olympic boxer. And
whoa.
Yeah, and so I was like, man, this wrestling thing is not really working out because I've been hurt a few times, and it's hurting my motivation to want to be Olympic champion wrestler. So I can tell my motivation was starting to die down, and I'm like, what else can I do? Like, but I still want to compete. And of course, dating a boxer and having to kind of watch them, now you start to be engulfed in what they're doing in the preparation, and I'm deeply enriched in it now to where, I was already a boxing fan, but now I'm actually starting to learn what's going on. And I'm like, maybe I should just come back and box for the next 4 years and try to make the Olympic team and go win the Olympics. But then I'm like, wait, so I'm going to throw away this skill that I just spent almost 10 years perfecting and learning, just throw that away and then just start a new sport off the rip. You're an idiot.
How old were you at the time?
I might have been, 20, 23, 24.
So now you've been striking for many, many years now.
Yeah.
And so when you see something happen like with Conor and Floyd Mayweather,
yeah,
if something like that comes your way,
would I take it?
Would you take it?
Absolutely. No, the issue, the thing with that is a lot of people are going to say, no, you can't box. Like, you can't box like these guys. No, listen, at the end of the day, no, I'm not conditioned to be able to box like them. To be able to go 12 3-minute rounds, even though, yes, MMA rounds, the 5-minute rounds might be more intense than those 3-minute rounds, but it's different conditioning.
Yeah.
To be able to slip punches, move and throw punches and block punches
and be efficient and comfortable.
Be efficient and comfortable. It's hard work to where MMA fighters, we go into boxing, you do 4 rounds and you feel like you want to die. To where a boxer can come into MMA and might not even be able to get through a round.
Right.
You know, it's just different mechanics. You know, just being able to work the mind and relax the mind to get the work done. It's different.
Yeah,
but
it's
if I got
stunning.
the opportunity, I would definitely give it a try, because I mean that's part of being a champion. It's taking on new challenges and going out there and giving it your best shot.
Well, a fight like that would be Canelo, right? Because Canelo just won the 175-pound title.
Are you trying to throw me to the wolves?
I mean, that would be the big fight. I mean, I'm not trying to throw you to the wolves, but if they came with you with that big Floyd Mayweather money
to fight Canelo,
like if they started doing shit like that,
I would give it my all. I think I would take that. Absolutely.
Would you really?
Yeah, I think I would take that.
Would you like one fight first, though? Would you like a boxing match first before you? Because I think like Conor, when Conor fought Floyd's a genius.
I would, yeah, but I would, of course, I would spar with. I get some big time boxers in there to spar with me and really help me prepare.
How much time would you need? Because what I'm saying is like Floyd was a genius.
Canelo?
He gave Conor a very short window of time to get ready.
Yeah.
Floyd was like, yeah, I'll give you like 6 weeks.
Connor's a master, but Floyd's a mastermind.
He's a mastermind.
That's his game. That's his world. He knows what he's doing there.
If you were gonna fight a real like legit boxer,
Canelo,
Danny Jacobs, someone
months.
like that.
Yeah, Danny Jacobs, 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. 6 months to be confident in my preparation, to just go out there and do it. I mean, yeah, of course I could do it in less time, but 6 months for me to do it right, to feel confident going in there to box the boxer. Not saying that I would definitely win. No, it's me. I'm gonna give it my all. Like, I'm gonna come. You're not finna just walk over me. You're gonna feel me.
Now, I'm not trying to set you up with a big fight, but what I'm saying is with Zuffa boxing right now, because the UFC is getting involved in boxing.
Absolutely.
And they do have some plans on promoting some big boxing matches and perhaps having some crossover fights.
Another
like
power move by
Terrence
Dana.
Crawford is talking about fighting. He's like, I'll fight you one boxing match with Conor. He's like, I'll fight you one boxing match and we'll fight you one MMA match.
I think he can do it.
I think Terrence could do anything.
I mean, you see his kid's a wrestler.
Yes. Yeah,
like,
he can wrestle.
You know, he's from Omaha. You from, you know, that Midwest. You've touched the mat a couple of times. You've wrestled a bit.
And his hands, dude, that guy switches up as good as anybody on the planet.
That's the thing I was gonna say is, you know, that's the guy that I like to watch a lot too. Boxing and
he's an artist.
Learn some, things from him.
Yeah,
is the way he's very good. He's an orthodox fighter, but when he switches southpaw, he's deadly.
He's just as good,
if not better.
Yeah, he can do anything, and he's like a computer. He starts seeing where there's openings, finds your weaknesses, and then starts putting it on you.
Yeah.
Terrence is special.
And he's got a dog in him too.
Yes. Oh yeah. He loves it. He loves it.
That's the thing that a lot of people might not take away. But when he turns on that dog, you're in trouble.
Yeah. No, he's special.
I think he could do it.
I think he could too. I just don't know if he's famous enough to entice. You know, like
not making Floyd and Conor money.
Right. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe Conor wants to have a bunch of. Maybe look, Conor's got probably $100 million in the bank, right? He probably if he's doing it right now, he's barely doing it for the money anyway. He's doing it for the challenge and for the rise.
Yeah,
it might be something that he would be interested in.
But he just said he wants a Billy. Like
he might get there.
Yeah, I think he well enough could get there.
I mean, they posted his earnings the other day on one of the pay-per-views that we just did, and they were saying that he's already made more than $200 million in his career.
Yeah,
like, that's a fifth of a way.
Yeah. No, I definitely think he can do it.
A bill.
I'm shooting for 250.
250 million.
Yes,
and then 250. You retire? You're like,
I think not retire. I'm gonna do other jobs as well, but 250 million. I think because at that point it's generational wealth.
Oh yeah.
Is something that my kids and my family is going to be able to live off of.
Yeah, that's dynasty money.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
When you say you do other things, like what do you think you'll do when you stop fighting?
I'm still passionate about. I want to be a marriage counselor.
A marriage counselor.
That was if I wasn't fighting. That was what I'd be doing.
That is hilarious. Do you know how funny that is? Yeah, me and my wife went to see a marriage counselor.
Yeah.
Who? Kamaru Usman. What? What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sidelined. He's got a side gig. He's a marriage counselor.
Yeah, I want to be a marriage counselor.
Why?
It's just something about it. I think personally, I was always very good at being able to step back from situations and what's going on. Keep a level head and being able to dissect what's going on
and
from
give advice.
this side and give advice. And I do this with my friends. When my friends tell you, like, think of your boy tell you a story like, man, this happened with my daughter's mom, my wife, or this and that. You know, she came home and she said this and that and all this, and then she kicked me out of the house. Man, she's wrong for this. But when they're telling the story, in my head, I don't know why, but in my head, how I'm taking it in is, he's saying, "Oh, she called me a bitch." But what did you say before that? Naturally that goes into my head. What did you say before that? And then she threw this at me. Why did she throw that? What did you do? What did you say? You know, so when everyone tells you a story, when they say there's 3 sides to every story, there's yours, hers, and I literally, like in my mind, that's what goes on when someone's telling me a story.
But do you know how funny it is that you want to be a marriage counselor? Do you understand how crazy that sounds?
Yeah, it does sound weird, but...
You're the UFC welterweight champion of the world. You go out and smash people, and you're like, I think I'd be a marriage counselor. Like,
well, okay, we'll narrow it down. We'll make it marriage counselor.
If you give me a list of 100 things, do you think Kamaru Usman wants to be a longshoreman? Does he want to be a brain surgeon? Does he want to be a fighter pilot? Marriage counselors, number 100. I'm like, that's definitely not real. He definitely doesn't want to be who the fuck would be a marriage counselor? That's not real.
Yeah, that marriage counselor would be there, or just a counselor of some sort.
A counselor.
Yeah. helping shape and mold. Well, I want to leave this. When I leave this world, I want to leave it better than when I came in, or when I lived through it. I want to leave it better situation.
Well, one thing you can do, you could have a tremendous impact on young people because of what you've accomplished, where you've come from, how inspirational you are, and then just the physical difficulties you're dealing with while you're doing that, with your injuries and all the preparation that you have to do to fight for the title and your honesty about it. When a young person hears your story like that, it'll make them think, like, with hard work, anything is possible. With the right mindset and the right discipline, almost anything is possible.
Yes, absolutely. Anything is possible because, you know, everybody thinks nowadays, oh, I'm limited. I can't do that because it is. I can't do it because, and it's funny because my daughter sometimes, you know, will be, when we're tying her, you know, her shoes, there was a certain point where I'm teaching her to tie her shoes and she gets to a point where she can do it. She's doing it. And then she'll just decide one day that she doesn't want to do it. So she'll play this game like, Daddy, I can't do it. I'm like, why? Why can't you do it? She's like, because I'm 4. I can't do it because I'm only 4. So I don't know how to do it. I'm like, but you did it yesterday, right? You can do it. No, I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. And like mentally, she just wants to feel that she can't do it because everyone's like, oh, you're 4 years old. She knows she's 4 years old. So she wants to I'm 4, so I shouldn't be able to do it. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, no, you can do anything that you want to do. Or she'll be outside playing soccer because I got her into soccer. And she's like, no, I can't. I'm not good. I can't play. I don't know how to do it. I'm like, yeah, you can do it. No, but I didn't get the ball today. I don't know how to play. I'm like, you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it, baby. You can do anything. And and when I say that to her, I'm like, she's only 5. But if I say it enough, by the time she's 10, it's going to stick in her mind. It's there. And so the fact that people go through life like that now, oh, I can't do it because I can't do it. I'm not supposed to do it. I'm not doing it. People just feel like, no, I shouldn't be able to do it. But it's the matter of putting the work in. Like, you can't tell somebody, like, if they do something well enough over and over and over and over and over and over, they're not going to improve. Even though you suck, you're going to get good at sucking at some point. Like, you're going to improve. And so people just don't want to try sometimes because they're just like, oh, I can't do it. I can't be good enough at that, so I won't do it. And I learned that lesson the hard way because when I started wrestling, I used to see there's this poster that ASIC put out, USA Wrestling. They put out this poster of the best wrestlers in the country in high school. And I remember the first time I went to Fargo, I was looking at the poster, and he was it's these nerdy looking kids. I mean, there's just one kid, he was super nerdy. He had glasses, I'm like, you know, the kind of kid that you would, like, I know kids picked on at my school. And then I hear the name, I see the name, I read the name, and I hear it. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know who that is because he's from like some other state, maybe like Pennsylvania or something. And then I could hear through the loudspeaker they called. They're like, oh, this kid's wrestling on mat 1. So then I look on mat 1, and yeah, he looks goofy looking kid. You see, he walk up to the mat, takes his glasses off, puts them down, goes out there and just whips the shit out of these other kids. Like, I mean, he was rolling kids up. I'm like, what? What just happened? Rolling kids up. And I think if he can do it, and you know, that's the kind of kid that you would look at and judge, and like, oh man, I could bully this kid. That'd be a bad day for a bully.
Well, how about Chase Hooper? You know, Chase Hooper, the 20-year-old kid is fighting in the UFC.
Oh yeah, the one that with the curly hair.
Yeah, he says, I'm gonna go get M&Ms afterwards. Didn't he? Who did he call? He went up to Masvidal and said, "You beat up my dad." And Masvidal's like,
I saw a little clip of that.
He's like, I did? Hey man, I'm sorry, I'm just fucking around. He's hilarious.
No,
that kid,
it's funny.
My wife saw him. She goes, he looks like he goes to Calabasas High.
Yeah.
Like, looks like a kid with a backpack.
Yeah.
Like, hi, how's everybody doing? Like, he's going to play video games. He'll fuck you up. He will fuck you up. He's a nasty grappler, too, man. His jiu-jitsu is very legit.
Yeah, tough kid.
And he can take it, too, man. Like, he got cracked in that fight, and he just rolls with shit, and just, he's all jiu-jitsu. Like, his most jiu-jitsu and ground and pound.
Yeah.
He's fucking 20 years old, and he's so cute. He's cute. You see him? Like, pull up a video of Chase Hooper.
A cute
Look
kid.
At him. Look at him.
Oh my God.
Come on, man. You would never believe.
Got that teenage chest too, you know, when the muscles aren't really in yet. I remember having that chest where I'd be in the mirror, like trying to make my boobs move. Like,
he's tough as shit, man.
He's a savage.
Yeah.
I like his approach.
He's a good fighter too, man. He's a really good fighter. I mean,
guys like these are the future of the sport.
And afterwards, he's like talking about, oh, I'm gonna go get some candy.
I think I saw a clip of Dana White talking
I was interviewing
about that.
him, and he was saying he's gonna go get candy after the fight. I was like, okay, he's gonna get M&Ms or something.
My daughter just told me the other day, she's like, Daddy, do you know there's an M&M store in New York? I was like, what?
You can get M&Ms anywhere. We don't have to go to fucking New York.
But I guess there's like these stores, these like the M&M store. Like they actually have a store to where they like sell all the products, M&M products, whether it's flasks, it's clothes, it's stuff. Like,
is that necessary? It feels like M&Ms are readily available. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like if they had a Diet Coke store. Do we just need a store?
There has to be a Coke store, isn't there?
Oh, I don't think there is.
There's got to be a Coke store.
But M&M store? That sounds so crazy.
Yeah, like, it's a big thing. I think big store.
I mean, I'm a fan of M&M. I like the peanut ones.
I used to like M&M's.
Peanut ones are the shit. If I'm in a hotel and they got a snack bar and it's peanut M&M's, I'm like,
oh yeah. You know what? I had a little thing with those in college.
Yes, those are my favorite. I love peanut M&M's.
Yeah, I used to. There was the little fun size one. They'd be in the little vending machine. Mm-hmm. And when I was in college, I was the laundry guy for the sports athletic team. So that was my work. I had a work study job. And so, yes, all-American wrestler. But then, you know, I did the laundry for all the athletes. A lot of them didn't know. But I would, go practice, go to school, whatnot, and then go home. And then after all the sports were done, at night, I would come back into the school to go do all the athletes' laundry and hang them up for them to have tomorrow before they all go to practice. Football, basketball, soccer, all the sports. And so they were these M&M things. So that was like my treat. That was like my little, it was like a little snack thing that I would have even when I was cutting weight. That was my little cheat deal. It had like maybe 6 little peanut M&Ms in there, but then I got a little addicted to those.
I like them because you can pretend you're eating something good because there's protein in them. It's the only candy that you can have that actually gives you protein.
It makes yourself feel good, huh? You're like, yeah, there's protein in here. It's healthy.
But it is. Like, how much protein do you think is in a bag of peanut M&Ms? Got to be a few grams. A bag, like a good size, one of the nice bags.
The big bag?
Yeah, a good bag. That's because I'll fuck up a big bag of peanut M&Ms. How much? There's got to be. Let's say a large bag. No,
2-3 grams.
It might be more.
Really?
I don't know. Like,
nah. Because the whole bag is a serving size is the whole bag, right?
One package contains 2 grams of dietary fiber, 5 grams of protein.
Oh.
Woo! Peanut M&Ms, because they're rich in protein and fiber, can actually help you stave off hunger cravings by leaving you feeling fuller longer. Did you know? That sounds like an ad.
Yeah, that does.
SuperiorNutStore.com. That sounds like the wrong name for something. I got RZA from Wu-Tang Clan was here. You know, RZA is a vegan. And I had this F-bomb, this nut butter.
Yeah.
And it was there, and he's like, nut butter. He's like, they need a better fucking name. And Donnell Roberts goes,
There's a lot of products out there now that are just like putting it out there.
yeah, nut butter.
There's that, what is it, is it Manscaped or something like that?
Yeah.
And they make something, they make a what's called ball wash. I'm like, just take no subtlety in it at all. It's just like, just get straight. Yeah, these is for your balls.
Wash your balls. That's what it is.
Wash your balls. Ball wash.
Yeah, we don't need to beat around the bush here, literally. Yeah.
Yeah. So they just put it out there now.
Yeah. Superior Nut Store in the house. But 5 grams of protein is legitimate. Like, if you're getting candy,
better about yourself now.
That's legitimate. That's like an actual amount of protein. Yeah.
And the chocolate is supposed to be.
If it was dark chocolate, that's what someone needs to make, like a real good chocolate one, like with a good solid dark chocolate, like cacao.
Yeah.
You know, so you actually get the antioxidants from the dark chocolate.
So the chocolate that's being sold in the store, that's not the good chocolate. That's not.
It's not the worst thing for you. Like, if of all the candy, I bet chocolate is. I mean, if it really does chocolate always have cacao in it?
I don't know.
Does it? Do you know? Like, could it be like
I feel like that's the definition of it, but
right. But like that really my favorite cheat dessert is dark chocolate and peanut butter. Just you know, because I remember I like Reese's peanut butter cups, but I remember like you got your peanut in my chocolate, you got your chocolate in my peanut butter. Yeah. It's delicious. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why fuck around? Why not just get a bowl of fucking peanut butter and an actual good chocolate bar and mix those two up together? It's fucking way better than a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Really?
Oh man. Yeah, like good organic peanut butter and like a real good dark chocolate. It's fucking delicious, and you don't feel that guilty.
Yeah.
Because you're getting like real peanut butter and like real good dark chocolate. It's kind of good for you.
Well, I mean, you could kind of be the testament of that, because you're like weirdly like in shape. Like no one really like people talk about like people make up these fantasy matches. Joe Rogan versus this guy. Joe Rogan
Dude,
versus
I'm 52.
that guy.
I'm not fighting anybody.
But the thing is, you don't look 52. You're like one of those weirdly organic, like in shape guy.
Well,
it's like
I'm scared
Joe
of losing
Rogan
it.
could kick someone's ass.
I just keep it going, because one day the wheels are going to fall off. Like right now I could do pretty much everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, one day, like sometimes I'll work out, I'll hit the bag, and I'm like, this is amazing, I can still do this.
Yeah.
Because one day, you know, I'm going to be throwing a kick and I'm going to be like, it's just a matter of time. Like my back is just definitely, it's a lot. There's a lot fucked up in there. There's a lot of discs are shrinking. My discs are getting compressed, and you know, like I do all these stretches on these different, like there's a reverse hyper machine that decompresses your discs. But that's the one thing as you get older, particularly if you've done wrestling or jiu-jitsu, your discs get squished. Yeah, and DC, so many guys have to get their discs fused.
Yeah, DC. Remember DC threw out his back.
Yeah.
Before he threw out the day of the fight, I think, when he fought Derek Lewis.
Really?
I think he. I remember the day of that fight in the morning. It was like a Saturday morning. I'm getting ready to head out and go to practice, and I get a call, and it's from DC. I'm like, what is the champ call? You got to fight. What are you calling me for? So I pick up the phone. I'm like, yo, what's up, champ? And he's like, yo, you got Heather's number? I was like, what? Heather's the physical therapist for the UFC, the head physical therapist. And I'm like, yeah, I got her number. Well, you good? He's like, I just woke up, I sneezed, and I threw out my back. And I remember,
heavyweight champion of the world.
I
sneezes
and threw out his back. And I remember laughing at him. I'm like, yeah, because I thought he was joking. But he's like, yeah, man, I don't think I got to fight this fight. I'm like, whoa, he's serious. And so, you know, Heather works on him, and of course he goes out there and puts on like amazing performance and winning that fight. But before this last fight, I woke up, I've got my bags and stuff, and in the morning I'm getting ready to get in the car, and I sneeze, and I hear a little pop in my back.
No.
My back is out. I'm like,
No.
I'm barely turning. I'm like, what? I'm like almost crying. And the first thing I go to, I'm like, I'm 32. I'm only 32. I'm only 32. What is going on? I'm only 32. I just sneeze and my back is out. And I call my strength and conditioning coach. I'm like, yo, Corey, I don't know if I'll be able to. Oh, bro, I just sneezed and I threw out my back, bro. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I just sneezed and I threw out my back, man. Because at that point, it's like one thing after the other. And my hand was hurt, not too long before that. And he's just like, come in, we'll do some stretches and I'll stretch you and do some certain things and then we'll try to loosen it up. And it was bad for like 3 or 4 days, like really bad.
Jesus Christ.
Really bad to where I'm just like, what is happening with the body? Like this.
So what do you do when that happens? Do you ice it? Do you put heat on it?
It was because I gotta train. That's the thing with me.
Right.
It's like I have to train.
Right.
And so I put heat on it because heat loosens everything up, so you can go out and actually somewhat move it around and train. So I just tried to stretch, try to kind of do certain that I could do because I could barely get in the car at this point.
It's so crazy that sometimes things like that will happen. Like one of the worst times I ever hurt my neck was in the shower. Just turned to grab something like shampoo back when I had hair. I turned for shampoo and something went pop. And I was like, ah! Didn't make any sense. And I had to drive to Vegas. Me and my friends went to see some kickboxing event in Vegas, and I'm driving. I literally couldn't do this to park.
Yeah.
If I was gonna turn around, I had to turn around. Like my whole body had to turn around. Like my neck was not moving.
Yeah.
From just turning.
Crazy how the body works.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Pop. Ah! Pop. For no reason.
And now I see a chiropractor because I got some, who was it that Errol Spence, the boxer.
Oh yeah.
So I was training at their gym when I was in town because I work with his coach sometimes, and I'm like I forgot what they were saying. He was like back was tight one day or something like that. I was like, you got a good chiropractor out here that you see? He's like, nah, I don't do that stuff. I was like, what you mean? He's like, yeah, my I don't know whether it's his dad has said something to him early on or he's just he's like, I don't believe in that. I think they make you worse off than when you went in. And I had just been seeing chiropractors for a while before that. I'm like, damn, is he right?
Do you know how chiropractors were invented?
No.
You ready for this?
Wow.
Chiropractors were invented in the 1800s by a magnetic healer during a seance. He apparently came up with this idea that you could fix all the ailments of the body by manipulating the spine. He was murdered by his son. His son ran him over with a car. His son was a con man, and his son took over the business. And his son started promoting that chiropractic healing could fix all these problems. Literally, the whole art of chiropractic manipulation.
Wow.
And I'm not denying that some people do get pain relief from chiropractors, and most chiropractors today really act more as physical therapists. They do a lot of deep tissue work, a lot of other things. But the origin of chiropractic medicine came from a fucking bullshit artist. A straight up bullshit. But it happened in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So it just got grandfathered in where people took it seriously. But there's a crazy article by a woman who was a guest on my podcast in the past. How do you say her name? Yvette? Chiropractors are bullshit. How do you say her last name? It's a complicated last name. But I didn't know. I had no idea because I had gone to a chiropractor once. I had a bulging disc in my neck from jiu-jitsu, and I was like, this just is not getting any better. And he's like, oh, you got a muscle pull? Like, I'm just going to manipulate you. Everything will be fine. I went to him for like a year, and it never got any better. Right. And then finally I went to a real doctor, and he's like, hey, you got a fucking bulging disc, man. Because my hands were going numb. I was like, why is my hands going numb? And he's like, yeah, your disc is pushing out. It's pressing. And then I did Regenikine, and it fixed it. How do you say her name? Yvette de Entremont. She's very cool. She was on the podcast. She's pretty hilarious. But the article is actually pretty hilarious. But it's basically about like how chiropractic medicine got started out.
Yeah.
And they call themselves doctors, right?
Yeah.
They don't go to medical school. They're not.
Well, they have the MD, don't they?
No.
No?
No.
Wow.
I know, right? You're like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? No, they get a doctor in chiropractic.
A doctor,
like
a
I'm
PhD,
I'm a
right?
doctor. No, it's no PhD.
No, it's no PhD.
No, they go to chiropractor school.
Yeah.
Do you know what percentage of people get accepted to chiropractic school? Take a guess.
10%.
100%. 100%.
Everybody
can go.
I will attest to I work with some good ones, some good guys.
Oh yeah,
to where they
can
get
help
me,
you.
they get me right.
Yeah.
Like I work with this guy, Dr. Mengi, and also Dr. Davidson, and they do a good job at really kind of, because I'll go in and my neck will be tight and it pop here and there, and it's like I just feel a little bit of relief. I feel a little bit
of psychological too, I think. But you know what, the massage is the big
that's the
one.
thing too. Yeah, the massage. But that's the thing for me too is, like, I'm very aware of the whole placebo effect of certain things. Like, because I was a skeptic. I'm a skeptic sometimes, and so going in and actually feeling relief. There's Dr. Mengi that he works with a lot of football players as well, and he's, like you said, those guys. Yeah, he adjusts you and gets you right, but he does a lot of physical therapy work as well.
That's what more they are now.
Yeah, and he really kind of helps, some of those ailments that I have, and he's helped me for a few camps, as well as Dr. Davidson. These guys have helped me a lot in my fight. So, that's why, and that's the thing too, is like when Errol's like, oh no, I don't see them, and I'm like,
he's kind of right.
Yeah, I know, but I'm speaking off of my experiences, because these guys not just crack and pop me back, they're actually, physically help work some things out to where I'm good to go. So of course I'm
thought they were doctors.
I did too.
I thought you had to go to medical school to be called a doctor. You don't. No. Speaking of Errol Spence, how the fuck did that guy get out of that car crash without a scratch? I mean, what do you, like, chip a tooth?
Man,
that is the crazy. You watch that video, you're like, he's dead. One of the best boxers in the world is dead, and then nothing. And if he was wearing a seatbelt, they said he would have
died. Yeah, I think he would have died. I think and I don't know, maybe he was asleep when he was thrown out of the car, because you don't really feel much when you're asleep. Especially if you're asleep, your body just is there, you're relaxed, but God got him. Somebody's watching over him, because that's not his time to go. I mean,
there was a video of him getting interviewed a couple months after the car accident. He's at a fight and they're interviewing him, and it doesn't look like anything's wrong. He's like,
they said he just had like a bruise or scratch somewhere, scratches and bruises. Like that was it.
Play that video. Can you find that video? The video is fucking crazy. I watched it about 10 times.
But
and he's in a 488, a Ferrari. So he must have been cooking. I mean, that is a crazy fast car. Those 488s are ridiculous.
You can't have that car and go the speed limit.
And especially with the convertible, man. Like, fuck, man.
God's really watched. Somebody's watching over him.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Because.
You find it? No? Is that it? Yeah, here it is. Look at that. Bam. Boom. And he went flying out of it right there. That is crazy. How the fuck is he okay? I mean, if he was in that car strapped in, he would probably be fucked up, paralyzed, or dead, or brain damaged. Meanwhile, he just
the sad part is
fell
how
out.
many boxers have gone through a similar situation. How many what's his name? Is it Paul Williams? Paul Williams.
Yeah, motorcycle crash.
Yeah.
That's
things like that.
That's
fighters like, and who was it? My buddy Daniel Strauss. Mm-hmm. Daniel's back. Daniel has fought since then. But imagine like something like that, and because I watched Daniel kind of slowly, because I would try to check up on him, because I liked that guy, I really liked him, and he was training with us at the time. Watching him slowly work back, because he didn't have any feeling here at one point. And then slowly have to build it back up to the I don't know, I think it's,
and then fight
right
and win,
side, and then fight and win.
Yeah, he came in here with Joe Schilling,
it's
like
impressive.
while he was on his way up, his way back rather. How about remember Diego Corrales? Diego Corrales died from a motorcycle accident as well.
It's been a lot of fatalities like that. Like, can you imagine how sad this story would have been? I mean,
with Errol Spence. Oh my God,
that's a guy that's loved loved not just in Dallas but all over the world.
Well, after he beat Mikey Garcia, everybody's like, "Holy shit, is this guy for real?"
I mean, I knew he was for real,
but really for real.
Mikey
Garcia is a very good fighter. He shut him down.
Yes.
I mean, he couldn't do anything to him.
He's one of those special guys.
Yes.
Special fighter, special boxer. You got to get him up here.
I would love to.
We
Well,
just need to
him
try
and
to make that
Terrence
happen.
could be a big fight in the future, and they were thinking about him and Terrence Crawford before the accident.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to have him in. He's an interesting dude. He's sponsored by Onnit too.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Love
Onnit's
to talk
out
to
of
him.
Dallas, right?
Austin.
Yeah.
No, there's a great group of like super talented boxers now. Like this is an amazing time.
Yeah, and the thing about him too that I like is that he's been the same guy now that he was when he was an amateur. Because I met him while he was an amateur.
Oh, really?
Because I was living at the Olympic Training Center and I was dating a boxer at the time. And you know, all the boxers, when they have national team practices, they would come through before that Olympic cycle. And they would all come through and do 2-3 weeks or maybe a month training camp all up there at the training center. So I got to kind of meet these boxers and you know, talk to and get, you know, acquainted with some of them. Like, was it Marcus Brown, who was a world champion, Rasheen Warren, Jamil Herring. I got to kind of see these guys. And that's when I first recognized them. And then watching them all make the switch to the pros and get to where they're at now. Errol Spence has been that same guy the whole time, which is one thing that I love because, you know, I feel like that's kind of how I am in my sport. I don't have to, you know, turn on this charm just because it works for Conor. It works for this guy, for them to be just brash and out there.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for me.
That's Conor's personality.
That's him. Yeah, that's Conor. It works for him. That's him.
Like Tyson became a superstar and he had none of that in him. You know, he had a totally different way of talking, very soft spoken in a lot of ways, you know.
Yeah,
terrifying.
But the Tyson the fighter,
the results.
And the Tyson the Tyson in general is well, I would say Mike and I would say Tyson are two different people.
Yeah.
And then knowing him now, man, it's like that guy was that guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's an amazing man now.
I've been pretty jazzed up talking to a lot of people on the podcast, but I've never felt weirder than talking to him.
You're always going to feel that way.
I'm sure.
I still feel that way. I still feel it's like there's a lion sitting next to you. the whole time. Like, we just spent New Year's together in New York, and it's me, it's him, and it's Henry Cejudo, and we're talking and we're just getting knowledge from him. The whole time, there's a lion sitting next to you. You can't shake that feeling.
I know.
You can't shake it.
You never will, right?
You can't. You never will. It's just what makes a guy like that special. You know, it's like if Muhammad Ali was in a room, which, you know, I never got to ever experience or see. But if Muhammad Ali was in a room, I'm sure, guys, it didn't matter. And Dana said this at one point. You could have Michael Jordan, the best, you know, or the best baseball player, and you have the best football player, and you have the best musicians in the world. All these guys in a room. But when Mike Tyson walks in a room, everybody knows Mike Tyson is in a room.
Yeah.
It's just something different about a fighter like that.
Yes.
When they walk in a room, everyone is on alert. Oh, shit, there's a lion in the room.
Yeah, it's the pinnacle of sports, is the elite fighter.
Yeah.
It's the pinnacle of sports, and especially the elite heavyweight champion, and especially a guy like Tyson, who, you know, in his prime was just... He changed everything. Like I said, the vision was so lackluster before he rose to prominence. And when he did, I mean, I remember when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine. He was 19 years old, and they had the cover. It said "Kid Dynamite," and it was him, and he looked so young. And that's how I found out about him. I remember maybe I'd seen some clips or something like that of him sending some guy flying with a left hook. But then watching, you know, seeing the cover of that magazine, I was like, this guy's 19 years old? Like, that is crazy. Yeah. And they're talking about being the next heavyweight champion?
Yeah. I mean, and you know, even now, like, knowing all of that and seeing all of that, because you kind of try to bring it, I'm like, man, and talking to him now, it's like, he's just like, oh, that was such a long time.
I love his beard, too.
Like,
it makes him look scholarly.
I know.
Like he's a wise old master.
And it kind of gives him a little, it's kind of like a little cover. You think it's like it hides him a little bit.
Yeah.
But we had lunch in New York, and then we walk out this little like place in New York, and we come out. We're on the street, and somehow a bus full of like tourists. Like I don't know whether they were Asian tourists, like a bus somewhere from Asia, like there, just pulls up right in front of us. We're like right there, and they all get out. And initially, because he's wearing a beanie and he's wearing a big jacket, and we're kind of standing outside, and they're doing some recreational stuff, and so we're just kind of standing there initially, and one guy walks up, one guy like is walking by and kind of just looks back. And you could see it because you know that look,
right?
Like like when you're somewhere and people are trying to figure out if it's you,
right?
You see them kind of do the double take and they're thinking in their mind and they're like, "Is that who I think it is?" And then he gets like halfway down the street, and at this point I peep him, I'm seeing him, and he turns around and he walks back, like Mike, is that you? And like is freaking. He's like, please, can I get a picture, please? And then, of course, Mike is like, such a nice guy. He's like, yeah,
he's a sweetheart.
Absolutely. And Mike takes a picture. One. Then one of the tourists sees him. Now it's a swarm. It's a swarm. Thankfully, his wife is just pulling up in the car, and Mike hops in. But I'm like, Mike hasn't fought in how long? When his last fight was what?
Probably 15 years ago or something.
And that's how the reception he still gets. Like people still freak out that it's Mike Tyson. It was incredible for me to see that. It's like at some point, that's what we want to get to. That's the level of respect and the level that as a fighter that you want to get.
It's so interesting that now he's in the weed business.
Yeah.
I mean, and he smokes weed all day long. He's one of the, and he's like, it makes me nicer. It's like calms me down, keeps me sane.
Yeah, I mean, it works. Certain guys, it depends on certain guys. Certain guys abuse it, but certain guys use it as medicine.
But it's also like, who doesn't want to get high with Mike Tyson?
I've thought about it. I was on the podcast. I'm like, Henry, you want to pass me one of those?
Was Henry hitting it?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So you don't get high at all?
No,
never.
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I for my 26th birthday was the first time I tried it.
What happened?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. I mean, I guess I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to inhale it. I didn't know how to smoke it. And, I'm like, this does nothing. I hit it like maybe 2-3 times. Like, does nothing. I didn't feel a thing. And then that same year, I had to, I think it was 26. Yeah, I think it was the last year I was at the training center, the Olympic Training Center. And I did the Ultimate Fighter season 14. I was the wrestling coach for Team Mayhem Miller. And me and Mayhem would sit, because we were in the same house, and we'd sit on the balcony at night after filming all day, and he would smoke, and we'd just relax, and he'd decompress. And that was the crazy thing about Mayhem too. Smart guy. I mean, yeah, he had a crazy path, but a smart guy. He would just come back and sit there and relax and just think. And he would say certain things. And then he was like, yo, you should try this. You should try this. I'm like, nah, that doesn't do nothing for me, man. I already tried it. Weed does nothing for me. He's like, you're doing it wrong. And I'm like, no, it doesn't do anything for me, man. And then he's like, try this edible. And it's an edible. It's a peanut brittle.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like just like a fat piece. I'm like, bro, weed doesn't affect me, bro. It doesn't do anything for me. And I had the edible. I had a big piece too. I'm eating it because it was good. It was chocolate. It was candy. I'm just eating them. I'm like, this is nothing. And maybe like 6-7 minutes later, I'm like, I need to go get water. So I open the door. I'm like, let me go get some water inside. And you walk in the balcony, the sliding door. You walk inside. Our rooms are this way, down the hall. His room's further. My room's just to the right, and the kitchen's right in front. So I walk in. I'm like, okay, get some water. I'm like 3 steps before I get to the counter, but I'm just like there. what's going on. I never touched the water. I eventually just somehow turn up to my right, just stumble into my room. I fell on my bed like this. I woke up 10 hours later like this. I woke up just like that. Didn't move. Best rest I ever got.
Wow.
I was like, no.
Did you have crazy dreams?
No,
You just went out?
but it was a fun time. It was because I was like the first time I experienced Vegas. So we were shooting the show in Vegas, and so that was my first time being in Vegas, and but it was a fun time, and I was just like, wow, okay. But then after that, I smoked again with my friends down in Florida, like years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and that was when I actually got high from smoking. You know, I hit it hard at first. I'm like, because I'm the same. I'm like, this doesn't affect me, guys. You know, because I was like, the reason it hit me is because it was an edible. I'm never doing edibles again. Okay, never again. So I already wrote that out. Like, weed doesn't affect me, guys. So I hit it hard. They're like, hold it. You got to hold it in. I'm holding it. Then I start coughing. I cough for like maybe 6 minutes straight.
Oh, no.
Hard coughing, almost. So I'm like, bro, this is nothing. I hit it again. Like right away, pass me that. I hit it again hard. Coughing. Like, this is not going to do nothing for it. I hit it again. Hard. Coughing. Bro, I told you guys this does nothing for me, man. And we're sitting on the couch. And my little brother calls me. And I think this was when he was making the transition. He was leaving football. He calls me. He's talking to me on the phone, and we're talking. I'm like, man, everything's good, man. You'll be fine. We'll do something else, and boom, I forget everything I was just talking about. I was, hey, I'll call you back. So I hang up, and I'm one of those guys. If I don't have control, and I feel like I don't have control of my body, my thoughts, what's going on, I kind of have anxiety. So I kind of start going to the panic mode. And so I'm sitting there on the couch, and these guys are looking at me, and I look left to these guys. I'm like, guys, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something is wrong. Something's wrong. I don't know what's going on. I was just trying to talk to my brother, and I forgot everything I was talking about. Something's wrong. And they're laughing hysterically. They're laughing at me bad. And then now I'm like, okay, no, I got to be cool. I got to try to be cool. I got to control this. I got to be cool. I got to be cool. But the biggest thing is I couldn't control what was going on. The fact that I was feeling what I was feeling, I couldn't shut it off. That was it for me. I was like, yeah, I can't.
That's too much, though.
I can't smoke weed
Like, that's not
anymore.
what you're supposed to do.
Oh, I did it wrong.
There's also a thing that happens when you cough. Like, I don't know
heard
why.
it gets it deeper in your lungs.
I don't know if there's science behind that. Is there any science behind that? Is that real? Like, coughing gets you more high? Because it is for me. If I'm smoking pot and I cough, I go, oh no.
Yeah.
I go, what have I done? If I open up the door, it gets inside
Yeah,
you.
they say, well, from what I've heard, they say, oh, it makes it worse when you're coughing. It gets deeper into your lungs.
I've heard that a bunch of times.
Yeah, but
I've heard that a bunch of times. I don't know if it's real though, or maybe you're just really high and that's why you're coughing.
Oh,
you know,
man,
I'm not sure.
Maybe it's the smoke, because I'm not used to having smoke in my lungs at all. Because even now, if I walk through casinos, I'm sick for a while.
With pot, you just want to. If you're a rookie, if you're not a veteran, you don't do it a lot. You want this. Like, ready? That's it. Stop right there. Wait. Give yourself some time.
Which reminds me, I smoked again after that. I think a couple years ago. But it was like almost like peer pressure. He didn't pressure me, but it was like,
who was peer
doing
pressuring?
Rashad was doing it. He didn't peer pressure me, but it was like, I'm with Rashad. That's my brother. If he's doing it, I gotta try it. You know, so he's like, he knows how to do it. Like for him, it's like medicinal. Like now, it's
right.
like, you know, we were going to a comedy show. Country Wayne was a comedian, and we were going to see him, and funny guy. So
his name's Country Wayne.
Country Wayne. Yeah, he's a big following now on the South, and he does his whole show. I don't think he curses at all. Really? Like funny guy. If you look him up, very funny guy. And So we're at the show, and before the show starts, and he's like, let's take a walk. So we're walking, and no, Rashad is like, me and him, like the wisdom that he passes on to me, it's crazy. I love being around him. I love spending time with him. And so we're walking, and you know, and then he whips it out, and he's smoking. I'm like, shoot, I've always heard like, things get funnier when you smoke weed. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be the best comedy show ever because this guy's already funny. I think he's funny, and this is gonna make it funnier. Oh my god, it's a good idea. So I take it, but I'm like, I learned from last time. I'm not gonna hit it like that. Just light hit, you know, once, maybe twice, but that's it. So I hit it, boom. I cough a little bit, but not as bad. You know, I cough just a little bit, and I'm okay. And so we're still walking, and then I hit it again, light. You know, this time I didn't cough. I'm like, all right, that should be good. That should be perfect. This show's gonna be phenomenal. So we get in. Now we're sitting in, because you know those improv comedy clubs are very, very tight. You know, especially the big, nice ones. But the VIP tickets, you're right there on the floor next to them. So we're like maybe 3 seats away from the stage. So we're there, and it's a packed house. Everything's sold out. And we're watching him. And I remember, like, now I start feeling something. I'm like paranoid now. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm talking to Rashad. Well, in my head, I think I'm talking to him. So I'm thinking I'm trying to whisper because I don't want to interrupt the show because I want the comedian, because I've heard comedians go after you. So I'm like trying not to interrupt the show. I'm thinking Rashad, but I'm really like, shh. And I'm like, why is he not paying attention to me? Why is he Rashad? I'm looking at him like, Rashad, something's wrong. I'm trying to signal him. I'm using my eyes. I'm trying to signal him like, bro, I gotta get out, because I was this close to running out of the improv comedy club.
But then where would you have gone?
I just run out of there.
In those cases, you're better off just sitting still and waiting for it to pass.
I know, but I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh,
I gotta get out of here.
Exactly what I thought. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here now.
Oh,
but
man.
then, in my mind, and I was like, no, man, what? Stop being a punk. Stop being a punk. You can handle this. So I'm like trying to reel myself back in my mind. I'm like, just breathe, relax, watch the show, breathe. And I'm getting through the show. I'm getting through it, but every now and again it'll creep back in. You're high, bro. You're high. Get out of here. But that's it. That was it for me. After that one, I'm like, you know what? Weed's just not for me. It's just not for me.
I've had those experiences 100 times, at least, maybe more. Probably more than 100. Yeah, like when I'm never doing this again. You know, we just get so high, it just gets ridiculous.
But you still do it.
I like it. I always learn something when I get that high. When I get real high and something's bothering me, I'm probably like, well, I probably have an issue I need to take care of. Like something's bothering me in the first place.
Really?
Yeah. Like if I get paranoid about something, or I feel bad about something maybe I said or something I did, it's like marijuana. Like if you have something that you're like maybe pushing in the back of your head,
yeah,
marijuana's like, hey, what the fuck is that? What's that? Let's turn a light on. Click. Put a flashlight on it. It's like, it makes you think. Like Eddie Bravo told me this once, and it really made a lot of sense. He goes, the best time to get high is when nothing's fucking with you. If nothing's fucking with you and you get high, it's like, oh, you can just enjoy it. But if you got anything that you're putting off, anything that you're half-assing, anything you're doing wrong in your life, anything you're procrastinating, anything where you're not really doing your best, you're not giving it your all, if you get high, you start thinking like, what am I doing in my life?
But isn't that like everybody and every time? Like very seldom is everything okay.
That's true too. That's
very
true.
Seldom is everything okay.
That's true too.
Like I can count on one hand how many times I've just sat back and said, everything is beautiful, everything is good.
Yeah, that's true, right? I mean, if you're doing difficult shit, especially, and clearly you're doing difficult shit, if you're doing something difficult with your life, like you're always in a state of some kind of struggle, right?
Yeah. It's never like, oh man, this is perfect. Man,
Isn't that
this
funny?
is wonderful.
It's such a true thing you just said.
You know, everything at some point, something is always going. There's something always going on.
But isn't that weird that everybody wants everything to be perfect and it really never is?
Yeah.
It never
Live in
is.
that constant state of that.
But you see people, like that's what social media is all about, right? Social media projects this image of perfect.
Yes.
Like you see some guy leaning on a cool car, standing in front of a nice house, beautiful girl with him, like this fucking guy's got it made. He doesn't feel any pain or suffering.
Yeah.
He's just smooth sailing through life. Look at him with his six
You know
pack.
the funny, and I blame this show actually. The last time I was here, after that, it just got worse. Like,
the hate?
No, not just hate, but now like people are like, oh, I need help with this. Hey, my I'm gonna get evicted. Can you just put money in my account? Hey, people were sending me requests on PayPal. Somehow they found me on PayPal, put in just send me money requests.
Really?
Bro, just bless me with a couple.
Bless me. That is hilarious.
It was crazy.
Bless me.
Just bless me, man. Hey.
What are you, a saint? Bless me.
I don't
Bless
know.
me.
But people were just sending requests left and right.
Really?
And then, you know, and then some would, of course, got this big story on Instagram. They would send me these. Because sometimes I go, now I can't. It's impossible to go through the messages.
Yeah.
And you know, and it would be this guy's like send me, oh man, this is wrong. You know, my mother just died. I am left alone. No money, nothing. Could you help me? And then I click on their Instagram. On the photo, they're rocking a Gucci hat. They're sitting down like arms crossed next to this nice car. I'm like, what? Get the fuck out of here. Are you get out of here with this? You know,
I wonder if
because
they just do that with everybody.
Yeah.
Imagine if like that's how they make a living. They just get on Instagram.
A lot of people do that. No, a lot of people do that. Yeah, but it's that whole deal is like that. Everyone puts on social media. It's just smokescreen. Puts everything out there. The best part of them out there. Speaking of social media, I just got. Did you see that? I just got hacked.
Did you really get hacked? Or I
got hacked bad.
Is Ali still your manager?
Yes.
Because let me tell you something. What I thought Ali did that and said, "Oh, look, you got hacked."
But if let's. You know, when the first
look me in the eyes. You definitely got hacked.
I would tell you if he got.
I would tell you. Did Ali lie to you?
No, Ali didn't lie to me because the crazy thing is, we were preparing to go to the fight. They were coming to get us because the fight's already started. The prelims had started, and he was about to start the main card. So we're preparing to go. It's a Saturday, and you know, on my phone's just bloop bloop. I'm getting text message. I'm just like, maybe it's just one person wanting to get there. I'm like, damn, because my phone just blows up sometimes. So I'm not really looking at my phone. I'm just trying to get out of there and go. And somehow I picked my phone up. We're walking down to the car. I slide it up, and I have 26 messages. Like, what just happened? So then the top one was what's her name, Paige. You know, used to work for the UFC. He's like, are you looking at your Twitter right now? I was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I thought you something's wrong with your Twitter right now. You need to get on there. So I'm like, what? I get on my phone. I try to go into my Twitter. I can't. I'm locked out. So someone had got in and changed the password in the email, so I can't even get into my Twitter. And then I'm with Ali because he's with me. And we're walking down. I'm like, yo, Ali, I need to see your phone now. I need to see your phone because I can't even see what they were tweeting. And so I get his phone and I go to my page. And the first couple, the first one was like, it was wrong and on so many levels. It was kind of funny if you're a troll, you know. But he was tweeting Conor. He was like, I'm going to be raw dogging or do something with your wife tonight. I was like, whoa, bro, that's a little, that's a little much. You know, and then the next one, another one comes in, I'm like, and now he's going all the way left. And now he at one point he even said something about Mike Tyson, you're N-word, like you're effing N-word, you're this
He
and
said
that.
to Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's tweeting to a bunch of people.
Now he's tweeting to a bunch of people, like, you know, you're effing N-word or this and that, like going in like that.
Oh,
and
Jesus
then
Christ.
Screenshots my bank account. Somehow he got into my bank account. Got into my bank account and screenshots it and puts it out. Now I'm getting like messages like, yo, what is going, like, and then of course that was right there. I'm like, oh, they got my bank account. Boom, I call the bank. I'm on the phone with my bank, and we're in the car going to the arena to Connor's fight. And now we're getting calls from messages from everybody like, yo, now the UFC's working on getting the Twitter shut down. And by the time they called and got the Twitter shut down, he had tweeted my bank, you know, screenshot of my bank accounts. He had, you know, they tweeted, you know, the random people, a lot of disrespectful things. He was like, at one tweet, he was like, you know, if I get over 1,000 followers or 1,000 comments or retweets on this, I'm gonna put his pin code out there, or his like internet password, the password for that out there. And I'm like, how because I have my phone,
Right.
like, how did they get in to my stuff? Now, he have everything. Now, Instagram, they shut down my Instagram right away before he could post anything, you know, because that I have a lot more followers on there. And it was just like, I was so, like, just flustered by it all to where I couldn't do anything but smile. Like, I just...
Does anybody ever post for you? Like,
yeah, they used to.
They used to.
Yeah, but I still like to have some level of control, but
meaning that other people besides you had your password.
Yeah, but it's someone that I know, someone that I trust. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not like random people. No, it's one person.
But is it possible that one person left their phone laying around or something, and someone saw the password?
No, because it can't, because it wasn't just my Twitter. They got my bank account.
Right, that's what's crazy. I mean, how are they connected? How's the bank account and the Twitter?
From what I'm learning now is hackers can easily hack you from an IP, like you're a Starbucks Wi-Fi. They can easily hack you from that.
That's why, you want a virtual private network, a VPN.
Yeah.
We use ExpressVPN, but there's a bunch of them. You could use that, and the good thing about it is also you could get into accounts. Like, you could do stuff like, you know, when you're in other countries, they lock you out of things.
Yeah.
Like, you can't look at certain parts of the web. You can if you have a VPN.
Yeah, because this was obviously something they were using, because you know, when they sign into they tried to get into my email. They got into when they sign in. Because now you have that two-factor authenticator or whatever, and when they sign in, one of them showed that they were in New York. Another one showed that they were in like Bali. Mm-hmm. So they were switching up.
Yeah,
like whoever knew what they knew what they were doing, because they were getting in there saying some, and it was like, and of course, and I saw that, and it was unfair to my manager for people to actually say that, because, you know.
Automatically, everybody would assume.
Of course, everyone's saying. And then Connor said something about it too, which was very low. I understand that the comments that were tweeted out were very, very disrespectful. First of all, that's not me. I don't even talk like that.
Of course.
You know, and I would never say anything like that. Even though, as much as I want to beat him up, if Connor wants to fight, we can fight. But I would never. There's lines that you don't cross.
That's not you at all.
I would never.
You're not even saying it. You're saying like effing.
I mean, don't get it wrong. I'll say, you know,
right,
F word here and there.
Yeah.
You know, but it was just, I would never say anything about someone's family, someone's wife, someone, you know, children. I would never say that.
No, I never thought for a second it was you.
And Ali is a guy that's so into his family, would never say, I don't care how much he hates Connor or how much he doesn't like him.
I thought he was just trying to stir up the pot.
No,
we're not. I didn't know honestly, I didn't know the extent. Of course not. I didn't know the extent of what he had said either. I didn't know he tweeted to a bunch of other people.
It's bad. It was bad. It was some of the things.
Can they find out who did it? Is there a way to...
I would think so, but you know, I'm sure that something like that is going to be expensive. You know, someone's got to investigate that.
Tell the UFC, pony up, bitch.
You know,
come on.
You know, is it worth it for them to do it?
If it's Ali,
that's true.
That's the only way it's worth it.
That's true.
If it's just some random crazy dude, some Russian hacker or something, that's not worth it.
But that's what I'm saying. In order to find out if it's worth it or not, you got to do the investigation. You got to pay for all of that.
Yeah.
But
Turns out it's Dana White.
There's, the funny thing is, as soon as we get there, Dana comes up and is like, initially I didn't know what he meant, but he was like, yeah, I had to talk with him. Like, I made sure everything was okay. And I'm thinking, like, I had to talk with who? What are you talking about? And this was before I really saw the tweets. He's like, yeah, I had to talk with Conor. I'm thinking, like, I don't give a shit about Conor. I got hacked. What are you talking about?
Right.
Until I saw the comments of what was said towards him. I was like, oh, shit, okay, I understand. This guy's going into one of the biggest fights. I mean, this is a return fight, with everything he's gone through, and having that hanging around. Or someone saying
of
that.
course, yeah.
Like, it's just, first of all, we're not that thirsty. I'm the champion. The belt's going to move. I'm going to fight somebody.
Yeah.
So I don't really care who it is. I'm going to fight somebody.
He has mentioned your name, right?
And the only reason we're even talking about Conor's even in the conversation because he came out and said, like, he wanted my belt.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give two shits about Conor.
Well, the idea would
tapped
be
at 45, tapped at 55, tapped at 70. I don't really care.
But 70, if he could win a title at 70, I mean, goddamn, 45, 55, and 70, that would be bonkers.
Arguably would be one of the biggest fights because he's trying to make history. No one's ever done that. To go up 3 weight classes and get a belt in all 3 weight classes, no one has ever done that.
Well, the UFC is campaigning for Khabib, and Khabib's like, give me $100 million.
Yeah, I mean,
and I get it.
He's in this position to ask that.
He's the fucking champ.
Yeah,
and he doesn't want to fight him. He's like, fuck that guy.
No, I've been there, done that.
Yeah, and also he's like, why am I going to give this guy more attention and hear him say more crazy shit about me and all that stuff that he did before?
Yeah, it's just some people don't care for that.
No, Khabib is a very honorable guy. He's not in the business of talking shit. He doesn't have anything to do with that. But he said one of the darkest things I ever heard of a guy say before. He said, I want to change his face. I want to change his face.
Yes, I changed his. And did you see the conviction in his face when he looked at the camera and said, send me location.
Send location.
Send me location.
Send me location. I fucking love that statement too.
We could do this new Brooklyn, Moscow. Send me location.
Send me location. Yeah, he's not fucking around.
And that's how I feel too. Like a lot of these guys do all this talking now and do this and this whole Masvidal character do all this talking and I respected Masvidal a lot before, but. After years of being in the game, you finally start to get a little shine, and this is how you're gonna do it. This is what now you're that gimmicky guy.
Yeah, but now you're talking about him.
Exactly.
So
no,
that's
I get
how it
that.
Works.
I get that. And his management team, even though my management is taking care of his management team before, that's another story. But they've done a good job of getting him to this point where he's got this hype around him now. But that's what it is.
They've done
hype.
A little bit of a good job, but knocking out Donald Cerrone, knocking out Darren Till, and putting Ben Askren into another dimension with a flying knee, all that helped. And then fucking up Nate Diaz and open up 2 vaginas on his face. that is why he got popular, right? You know that.
Yeah, but were those the hardest fights at that time?
Well, Darren Till was thought to be a very hard fight.
Darren Till was a good one.
Yeah, that was
Darren Till was a good one.
He was coming off of the Tyron Woodley fight, but still. Darren Till was thought to be a very good fight.
Yes.
And Donald Cerrone, Donald is a real 55-pounder. Yes. But I'm talking about those big fights.
Yes.
So Donald Cerrone, Darren Till, and then the Ben Askren one, that was, no matter how you slice it, that's goddamn crazy what he did to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to land that knee, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But what happens if had that knee not landed?
Who knows?
Exactly.
I mean, he might just fuck him up standing up.
That was the gamble. Fight. I think that was the gamble fight that paid off and sent him on. He took all that hype from Ben Askren.
Yeah.
But I understand. I get it, rightfully so. But, now to kind of make all this noise and say you're this and that, you're going to do this. Like, I've heard him gone as far as saying, he's going to break my face. He's going to do all of this and do that. But then I see you backstage and nothing was said. Nothing. We sat in the same row in Conor's fight, the same row, maybe 10 people apart. Nothing was said. I'm that type of guy. If I say what I'm gonna do something to you. When I see you, it's on sight. That's not me. I don't like to talk the shit and this and that. But if I feel a certain way about you, when I see you, I'm gonna confront you about it.
So your number one pick is GSP.
Number 1 is GSP.
Number 1 is GSP for legacy, for history,
Yes.
for everything. Number 2, Red Panties Night.
Conor, of course, absolutely. Very close.
Red
number
Panties
2.
Night.
Very
Number 2.
close.
Number 3,
Very
Scarface.
close. Number 2. Is that? Yeah, that kid.
Masvidal.
Yes.
Why does he call you Owl? What is owl hunting? What is
Because
that about?
I say who? Because who is this guy? Who is that guy?
I didn't get it. I was like, why is he an owl? That makes perfect sense.
Who's that guy?
Who?
No, because when people try to bring him up, oh man, like he's this killer. I'm like, who?
That's hilarious.
It's the same guy. What are you talking about? Who?
Come on, that's hilarious. On both sides.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Let's just be honest. Unless they somehow, because they're doing everything possible not to fight me right now. They're begging for a Conor fight. They're begging for that fight, because, like, I get it. Let's be honest. And my manager said it too. If I was his manager, yes, why would I fight you? I've got all this hype right now. I would do everything possible not to fight you. Of course I want to fight Conor. You fight Conor and lose, guess what? I still got the payday. Who cares?
A giant one.
Yeah, giant payday. Who cares?
Yeah.
But he fights me. He goes back down to making 50 and 50 or whatever he was making before. All that hype is done. So yeah, why would I fight you? Hell no. I have the opportunity to potentially fight Conor if Conor picks him.
It's real interesting right now, right? It's like, how does this all play out? And we're just waiting for the UFC to put all the pieces
But listen,
together.
everyone is the problem is everyone has been saying, oh, they need to give him a title shot, need to give him a title shot, need to give him a title shot. Well, guess what? You just might get what you wish for. But now you realize, I don't really want the title shot. I want this money over here. I want this guy to pick me so I can get that money. I don't really want the title shot. Because we both know what's going to happen. Him and I both know. His management team knows. Everybody knows what's truly going to happen. But that's the nature of the game, because he's got his fans who really believe that he can beat anybody in the world, that he can't be touched. They're just like, oh, yeah, that's the guy that's going to beat you. He's going to knock you out. He's going to do whatever he wants to do to you. No, it's not going to happen. Not even remotely possible for it to happen.
Be an exciting fight to set up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't care. Like, I'll fight anybody.
The hype behind it would be gigantic.
I'll fight anybody.
For all 3 of those fights. All 3 of those fights are you're in the driver's seat, which is beautiful. Or you really are, because everybody wants that title. You have the nobody's the BMF title is like no one's trying to get that. It's just a
no one cares.
Cool looking belt that he gets to carry around with him. But everybody wants your belt.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, that's Dana said that's the fight that he wants, and we're in the business of doing business with Dana right now. So if that's the fight that Dana wants to make, then we're going to go in and we're going to talk. And
what kind of timeline do you think you're looking at? Like if ideally for you?
Well, let's see. April's taken already. March is taken.
What about the July? Big UFC July event?
I'm ready to fight as soon as possible. After April, I'm ready to fight.
That's going to be in Vegas too.
I'm ready
big
to
July
fight.
event.
Yeah, I'm ready to fight. We'll see what Dana says. If it makes sense for them.
Panties Night. That's what I want to see.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see Red Panties Night. You and him would be fucking crazy. God damn, that would be huge.
Yeah. If it happens, it happens. But I'm not holding my breath on that.
I'm excited about all 3 of those matchups.
They're doing
honestly.
everything. They're doing everything to get around it, and it is what it is for them. But I'm gonna get a fight.
I don't think I'd be extra hyped for any of those fights. I think all 3 of them I'm at 100.
Yeah.
Whether it's GSP, I'm at 100. Masvidal, I'm at 100. Red Panties Night. Come on. I'm fucking pumped. I'm 100% pumped for all 3 of those fights.
You know what? Honestly, I at some point we just look at it, I'm like, that actually kind of makes more sense than even, obviously the Masvidal being in the welterweight, it has been doing his thing, but it's like, this guy hasn't beat anybody in the top 5. Hasn't even fought anyone in the top 5.
Well, if Conor jumps right ahead of everybody and gets a title shot, like people will be like,
listen, people will frown upon it, but at the same time,
they get it.
He just fought at welterweight.
Yeah.
And they'll get it because look, Conor just did the same thing for lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
He went straight into a fight.
Yep.
He didn't even fight a tune-up fight. He just fought a tune-up fight.
Yep.
At welterweight. At lightweight, he didn't. He just jumped right into the title, and you saw what he did there.
Yep.
So people are intrigued to see if Conor is really this mythical creature that can go in and win 3 titles.
Dude.
Like that. It makes sense. If Conor wants that opportunity, who am I to try to stand in the way of his opportunity to try to be great? I don't mind.
Red Panties Night, July. Set it up, UFC. Listen, champ, it was great having you in here. As always, appreciate you, brother.
Joe.
Thank you so much. So happy to hear your father's getting out. It's amazing.
Thank you.
And that's it. Tell everybody your Instagram, your Twitter, all that jazz.
Instagram,
It's
Twitter.
back. You got it all back.
It's back. At Usman, USMAN 84 kg. You know, we back, people. We back.
Bye, everybody. Thank you,
Bye.
brother.